ontogeny. Ontogeny.
All right, let's see if that did it. Did we have a successful update there? Can you see and or hear me? Let me know. It's really hard to read this screen today. Did I turn the brightness down or something? Nope, it's all the way up. This is very sunny today. And, excellent. Well. We can see and hear you. All right, excellent. The volume is okay? Welcome, everybody, to Paleontologizing. It's really good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Welcome once again to beautiful, hot and sunny Wyoming, where we're here digging up a dinosaur. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. So, talking about my own area of expertise, which is dinosaur paleontology. Dinosaurs are what I study, what I publish on in the scientific literature, and during the summer, what I dig up in places like this. And I'm glad you're here along for the ride. We are here in the Late Cretaceous Almond Formation of Wyoming, digging in rocks approximately 73 million years old. And we've got several different dinosaur sites going concurrently right now. But today I'm here at the Ceratopsian site, where we've got what is almost certainly a new species, if not a new genus, of horned dinosaur. We don't have any bones exposed right now. All the ones that we had earlier we've already gotten out of the ground, and they are safely in storage for their journey back to the laboratory. But with any luck, we'll start finding some more, maybe live on stream today. So I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Let me know if you've got any questions. And let's see here. And hey, Blint, Science Streams, Lenina, Golganek, Paleontologist VI, Suli Cat, Cast the Dreamer, Raycadactylus. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is wonderful to have you here. Again, let me know if you've got any questions. We've already got 228 people watching right now. This is fantastic. And Frank, to be frank, says, what do you guys think of Lokiceratops? I haven't had a chance to read the paper yet. It's interesting. I gotta say, I am a little skeptical of the idea that you've got such high diversity of ceratopsids all in the same time in the same place. I kind of wonder whether some of those dates might be a little off, because I would not expect to see such diversity in one particular time and place. It's very uncharacteristic for dinosaurs. Yeah. And Dr. Hubbs, there you go. Welcome. Yeah. Good to have everybody here. In just a few minutes, I'll go back up there to the quarry, and we'll do some more digging, but I figured we'll just kind of settle in here, let people trickle in, and, enjoy this cloud cover. Very nice. It's going to be brief. Got to take advantage. Yeah, it's over. Okay. Yeah, it's hot today. And Raycadactylus says, is the dates being off more or less likely than it largely being different stages of ontogeny? Ontogeny might play a role as well, but I'm guessing it's probably more like heterochrony. It's probably, it's maybe some different lineages evolving over time, and some of the dates might just be slightly off. A little too much like Medusaceratops. Frank, to be frank, you and me both. Hey, sounds like you're in the right place. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. Yeah. And Anastasia Facchini says, I'm obsessed with dinosaurs. Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Paleontologizing. We're digging up a brand new dinosaur up here. My favorite is Spinosaurus. Have you found one yet? I've never found any Spinosaurus, but Matt Lamana, who's up there in the quarry right now, can tell you about Spinosaurus. He's found some elements of Spinosaurus in Egypt at Bahariya Oasis. So he can tell you about that. And I personally work on Spinosaurs, although I've never actually found one. I've got a paper coming out about Spinosaurids, hopefully pretty soon. I'm going to get that submitted for publication ASAP. And yeah, Dinosaur Dave. Yeah, it's good to have you here too. Welcome. Yeah. And aloha to you as well, Pepsi Junkie. Hello. Yeah. Anyway, so good to have everybody here. Birds Are Dead On says, need to hire people to fan you with palm fronds. If we had that kind of a budget, then, I don't know, we'd just hire more field workers rather than palm fronders. Did you see any birds today? I did. I've seen several birds. Doves and meadowlarks and shrikes. And I saw a raven earlier. Yeah, rock wrens. I've been hearing those. I haven't seen one yet today. But yeah, they're around. Yeah. And very cool. And Mighty Wombat says Deinosuchus and T-Rex are my favorites. Very cool. Deinosuchus is actually a crocodilomorph, though. It's not a dinosaur. We could talk about the difference later if you'd like to. Yeah. And Laysfort says, you, sir, have the coolest job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Believe it or not, I actually make my living doing live streams. So I am a paleontologist. My background, my training is in paleontology. Dinosaurs are what I publish on and what I study and what I dig up. But that doesn't pay the bills. Streaming is what pays the bills for me. So you could call me the world's first full-time live streaming paleontologist, and you'd be correct. So it's only through the support of this community that I can be out here in the first place, that I could stream to you live via satellite and show you what it's like to dig up dinosaurs. So thank you to everybody who's been able to support this channel and this community. Really appreciate that. Yeah, here's our satellite rig up here. So there's the dish and the router and the solar panels and the battery. Doing really well in terms of sunlight today. It's pretty sunny, which is both a blessing and a curse. Yeah. And some of us in chat would likely help for free just for the experience. Well, that's literally everyone here. Nobody's getting paid to be here. I guess I'm getting paid through Twitch, through subscriptions and everything, but I'm not getting paid to do the work here. None of us are. This is an all-volunteer crew. Because we don't have that kind of money. But what money we do get, we stretch really, really far, which hopefully you'll be able to see today. And Andy Rea, thank you for the resubscribe. Appreciate that. And Zed Shirogane says, how is setting up streaming as an income source? Oh, and interesting, Zed. Yeah. You work in marine biology. Very cool. I would say just get started and see if you like it and see if you start to develop a following. The important thing is just to get started, you know? Don't expect anything to be perfect off the bat, because it won't be. But if you enjoy doing it and people enjoy watching the streams and you feel like you've got the right kind of like personality to be able to share your science with the world, then I absolutely encourage you to do that. It is a way to make a living as a scientist, I have found. A meager living, but a living nonetheless. And yeah, I couldn't be happier. And passion like that is what makes what you do even realer. Thank you, 32-bit. I appreciate that. Yeah. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, and Frank to be Frank says, the colleges around me don't offer specific paleontology courses. You often don't need those. Thinking earth science and ecology? Yeah. Take as much biology and geology as you can. That's basically what paleontology is, as you well know. Yeah. You know, we paleontologists are kind of an unholy amalgam of biologists and geologists. You know, we're the weird offspring of those two disciplines. Yeah. Anywho, yeah, good stuff. Let's go up to the site. It's going to look completely different from how you remember if you saw the Ceratopsian site last week. There's been a lot of overburden, hence this giant pile of rubble. And look at these boulders. We had to roll these down by hand. Some of these weigh probably upwards of like 1,000 pounds. You know, that's one of the smaller ones. But yeah, we moved a lot of rock to expose more of the bone-bearing horizon. So now we're digging in there and hoping to find bone, but we've not been able to find anything else yet. Most of the bone we've gotten out already. Oh, everything we found so far we've gotten out already. So now we're just looking for more bones. And it's been 2 or 3 days here with nothing yet, but today could be the day. Cross your fingers, chat. Here, let's go on up here and meet the crew for today. Yeah. All right, and here's the crew. We've got Ken. You may know him as Paleo Ken from the chat, also one of our loyal moderators. We've got Pittsburgh Carnegie Museum dinosaur curator Matt Lamanna there in the hat.
Hidey-ho!
Yeah. We've got Lauren, who's new today, from Pittsburgh.
Hello.
So she's a friend of the Pittsburgh's Carnegie Museum, and now she's our friend too. So So we're very lucky to have her. And we've got Katie over there, also from Pittsburgh. And then from Salt Lake City, we've got Bennett. Yeah. So, did you arrive yesterday or the day before? Day before.
I arrived yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning?
Yeah.
Feels like you've been here for a week, in a good way. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, I figure I'll just put the camera over here and we'll kind of do what we normally do and get some questions from chat, and maybe I'll put it right there actually, in the shade.
Yeah, I woke up at like 4:30 and then like left at like 5:15.
That's a long day, shoot.
Rolled in at, I don't know.
You made great time.
8?
Yeah.
Yeah. Made that drive shockingly quickly.
It's not too far from Salt Lake, which is nice.
No, I thought it was going to be like 3.5 hours, but it was like a quick 3.
Nice. Hopefully no road work or anything to slow you down too.
No, actually.
Yeah.
Well, actually a tiny bit, but
It's always some.
Half a mile.
There we go, that should work. Something like that. Nice. Alright. And Rhacodactylus says, I like that Ken can be our in vivo moderator. Now, he's on vacation right now for moderation duties.
Vacation from moderation.
There you go. And whoops, lost the connection somehow. What happened?
Is that little look of Earth enough to get you out of line of sight? Or?
It says we're live. Well, it's kind of low. It might be, yeah. Let me stick this up a little bit higher. And
chat if they can see.
yeah, no, they reported there were F's in the chat. That means he's done this a time or two. There we go. That should be better. We're back. All right. Yeah.
Maybe there's a store Wi-Fi network.
Maybe if you connect to the Wi-Fi, the text will sound.
I'm making a face at you and you're not seeing.
It's good that we're back. All right.
I chose to turn away at just the right moment.
Make sure that don't give them fingers cracked. Give the people what they want. I don't think they want that.
All right. How's the? Well, I guess I can look myself. See what we look like here. Are you using that too, Ken?
Yeah. Oh,
all
I
right.
got another one over there.
Oh, that's mine. Okay, cool.
We can share.
Yeah,
I just need a...
no worries. Being all possessive of my bucket.
My hammer, it's my pocket. No, only black Sharpies.
All right, I've got the chat over my face. I'll turn it just a little bit. Actually, no, that's probably pretty good.
You're my back pop.
Is that what that was?
Yes.
Oh,
What's up?
My back pops.
Oh, okay.
followed by a massive grunt. That sounded... Yeah.
Perhaps.
Sounded like it was relieving.
If you need your back popped later, I'm pretty decent. Grabbing and like, just lifting somebody up and like letting them hang from their... I can either like do the laying down. Yeah, the bear hug and I can bear hug you and dangle you. Yeah.
That's always so much fun.
Which one?
Feel like you're flying for a second.
The bear hug or the other?
And full party day. Yes, indeed, Soaring Intrepid. Delta Rain, good to see you. And Frank to be Frank, who would like to be a paleontologist, says, it seems so chill to be a paleontologist. I was wondering, do you have constant anxiety about damaging fossils? I'd be shaking.
I do.
Fair? Yeah, yeah. You get over it after a while, I don't know.
It's taken weeks for me to get over mine. Over this period of a year.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, somebody once told me the fossil's not going to come out of the ground the way it went in, you know, and you have to be as careful, you know, you are as careful as you can be, but you also have to recognize that, you know, sometimes you'll find a bone by accident. It just happens. And then once that happens, you got to be honest about it. If you broke a piece off of it, try to find the pieces, glue them back in place if you can, and then proceed with extreme caution from then on.
Yep. That's why you see us putting like bits of matrix from here into these containers, rather than just chucking them over our shoulders, in case there is anything that maybe we missed. Like if we find a bone and go, oh shoot, there's a piece missing, you can return to the bucket and hopefully find it in there. So that's kind of an insurance policy. There's more roots in here.
Is this anything? The texture's weirder than usual. Yeah, it kind of just looks like that. Yeah, it's just a little fluffy.
Yeah.
It seems like thicker than it usually is. Yeah.
Dinosaur Dave says, question for the whole crew, what's the most controversial paleontology take you have, and how do you defend it?
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Dave, why are you being so spicy?
Oh, I can go if nobody else wants to.
Go for it, yeah. You've got an answer at the ready?
All right, I would say my controversial paleo hot take that I haven't published, and probably will never get to publish, is that we still don't know, in my opinion, we don't know for absolute certain that non-avian dinosaurs died out simultaneously 66 million years ago around the world, all around the world. And the reason why is because there are vast pieces of the southern hemisphere for which we have little to no non-avian dinosaur record for the last part of the Cretaceous, and or little to no mammal record for the beginning of the age of mammals. And so the way to to get me to come off that soapbox is we've got to explore more of the world, especially in the southern hemisphere, in rocks that span the KPG boundary, so the Cretaceous Paleogene boundary, the time when 66 million years ago, when that giant asteroid fell out of the sky and wiped out at least most non-avian dinosaurs.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I would say
like
bring
that.
it
Shoot.
if you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's controversial, but like also no one can really argue with that. Like, so it's. I don't know. That's a really good answer.
But it's a very, it's a.
It sounds like more of a hot take than it is.
Yeah, but some of my colleagues don't like to hear it. Like I think we sometimes like to pretend that the fossil record is better than it is.
Or that we've done a better job of exploring.
Of exploring it. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. I like that. Hot takes.
Is that why you've been doing so much work in Patagonia and Egypt?
It's part of it. Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah, I want to find out. One of the sites we have in Patagonia right now is dates to the very close to the KPG boundary, and part of the reason we're exploring it is I want to see if if there's any evidence of a decline in non-avian dinosaur diversity before the boundary, or basically just to check on ecosystem health in that part of Patagonia, approaching the boundary.
Let's see. Cody Rage says, first time watching, what's the mission? To find dinosaur bones. To seek out new ceratopsians.
To boldly go where no caveman has gone before.
Now we're working here in the Late Cretaceous Almond Formation of Wyoming. So these rocks are very understudied, underexplored. There are 0 dinosaurs that have been named from the Almond Formation. So anything that we find here will be scientifically important, and chances are it'll be new, like new species or new genus even.
Yeah, and in this particular hole in the ground, which is now much larger than it was a few days ago, last year one of the scientists out here found part of a frill of a horned dinosaur. So think like a Triceratops, except in this case with a longer frill that had big openings in it. So if you know your dinosaurs, like things like Chasmosaurus, Utahceratops, Torosaurus, things like this, Pentaceratops, that type of animal. And then this year, several more bones were found. Sadly, not by me. Sadly for myself, not by me. But including another part of the frill called the parietal. So the first bone from last year was the squamosal. It's sort of the rear corner of the frill, lower rear corner of the frill, and now we have another part of the frill that's even more what we call diagnostic. It's got lots of features that should allow us to identify this animal to the genus and species level. And so we're digging feverishly to try to find more of this animal before our field season is over. We're very optimistic that we will, but I will say too, we've definitely dug. I would have I was hoping for another bone by now, but we're going to keep pushing on, and who knows, maybe we'll find one while the stream's going.
That would be awesome. Yeah, so cross your fingers, chat, and make sure to give plenty of subscriptions and stuff to improve our luck.
Did any of the mods link like what the skull muscle or parietal would be?
I'm sure. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I could bring out a visual aid too. That I've got one of those laminated sheets. Oh yeah, would you like to do that, Ken? Would you like to give us a demonstration?
So
there's ceratopsian frill.
Parietal.
Yeah.
Squamosals.
Nice.
It's not always. You don't always have your own ceratopsid in the party to demonstrate with you for you.
We're very lucky.
So we're very fortunate. Yep. He has the strength of a ceratopsid too.
And
if you're not sure, can you press on?
let's see.
Because I don't want to throw it.
I don't want to be the
Oh,
person
Paleontologist VA Matt would like to know about the taxonomic placement of Bahariosaurus versus Deltadromeus.
Oh, that is. Oh man, that's a phenomenal question. I will say that I've long suspected that they're the same kind of, that they're potentially the same animal, but I'm not as sure as I once was about that, actually. And I think what I can say for certain is that Deltadromeus is very probably super closely related to a Patagonian dinosaur called Gualicho.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, sidetracked with a possible bone discovery, but it wasn't.
Okay, so
there's this very unusual dinosaur from Patagonia called Gualicho. Deltadromeus is certainly closely related to that. There's an excellent chance that if it's different from Deltadromeus, that Bahariosaurus may be related as well. For me, Gualicho is our best window into the phylogenetic affinities of these kinds of dinosaurs. And that was recovered as a type of allosauridoid. Potentially, I've heard some people link them to megaraptorans. For me, and this is based partly on some unpublished stuff I've seen, I personally think these animals are probably more likely very large, very gracile ceratosaurs. So animals that may be related, at least Deltadromeus and Gualicho, in my mind, are probably something akin to noasaurids, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And noasaurids are a kind of ceratosaur.
Noasaurids are a
right?
type of ceratosaur, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm sure somebody out there will have evidence that that contradicts that, but suffice it to say that for the time being, that's where my head is at with these animals. For what it's worth, because I'm wrong much more than I'm right. So
I mean, that's how science works.
Yep.
Yeah, always learning new things. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I think your ceratopsian explanation got clipped there, Ken.
Oh no.
So we'll be able to see plenty of that in the future.
Oh no.
Yeah. And
trying to see me blush or what?
From the Dinosaur Dave, any thoughts on Dinosaur Dave, who's from Australia?
Is he still doing his dig stuff, or is he done for the year?
I think he might still be traveling.
Okay.
Yeah, Dinosaur Dave, are you still out on your paleo walkabout? Like huge cross-country road trip. It's awesome.
nice.
Any thoughts on megaraptorans like Australovenator starting in Australia and then spreading into the rest of the area? I guess Gondwana from there.
Yeah. So. In my mind, and I assume this question is for me. But,
Yeah,
okay.
Go for it.
I think there's an excellent chance that megaraptorids proper may have gotten their start in Australia. That's where the oldest known fossils of that group are found. There are even older and more primitive megaraptorans that are known from Asia, though, or probable megaraptorans. Things like Fukui raptor and Puviang venator and Bayou raptor. Sorry, I'm like mixing. I'm like, is it Bayousaurus, Bayou raptor? I'm like forgetting. It's not 100% established that things like Puviang, Venator, and Vioraptor are megaraptorans, but they seem to be. And they are, I think, a little bit older than the oldest known Australian megaraptorans and megaraptorids. So I think there's some possibility that megaraptorans in general may have started, you know, in Gondwana and potentially Australia. But in my mind, it's more likely that they were a cosmopolitan group during the early Cretaceous, and that with the kind of breakup of the continents into, you know, into a set of northern continents, Laurasia, and a set of southern continents called Gondwana, megaraptorids seem to be a derived Gondwanan, so southern hemisphere subset of Megaraptora. So my best guess, and this is based on like evidence like a house of cards, so not very much, would be that megaraptorans were around the world, you know, distributed in both the northern and southern hemispheres, and then went on to diversify in the southern hemisphere, yielding megaraptorids proper. So, oldest known megaraptorids may have gotten their start in Australia, but megaraptorids, their area of origin is a lot less clear.
What's the, not to steal from the chat, but what's the thought as to how Gondwana broke up, like the order and like...
Oh, man.
If it's too much, don't...
Yeah. So I think you guys could probably hear Ken's question, but he asked me what's the thought on the sequence of the fragmentation of Gondwana. In other words, the sequence of events in the breakup of this giant southern supercontinent. And I think it's generally accepted that India and Madagascar broke away first, probably, and that is thought to have happened in the Upper Jurassic. Then it gets controversial, but South America and Africa are thought to have split around 100 million years ago. India and Madagascar are thought to have split about 85 million years ago, roughly. And then, hopefully I'm not missing any continents, but South America, Australia, and Antarctica were probably in some degree of contact all the way through to the end of the Cretaceous. And that's actually, Ken's question is really excellent, you know, in juxtaposed with that previous question about megaraptorids, because there's some evidence that, again, if megaraptorids got their start in Australia, we find them in South America a little bit later. And so it's possible that they may have originated in Australia and then crossed over to South America via Antarctica. And this, you know, the fact that, or the likelihood that Antarctica, South America, and Australia were still connected for most of the Cretaceous actually makes that hypothesis a lot more viable, in my opinion.
Okay. Nice.
Plant.
And I guess if
Megaraptor is why I asked that question.
If South America and Africa were together until about 100 million years ago, that would explain why, say, Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus are so incredibly similar.
Yeah. And there's some interesting similarities too with there's a I don't know the pronunciation of the formation, but it's spelled Alcantara in Brazil. So I would pronounce that like something like
Alcantara.
Yeah, exactly. But it's I think when you hear a Portuguese speaker say it, it doesn't sound anything like that.
Yeah.
But that fauna is interestingly, you know, tropical Gondwana at about 100 to 95 million years ago, give or take. And oddly, a lot of the dinosaurs seem to be really similar to the dinosaurs in North Africa at the same time. So for instance, there's a big Spinosaurid snout that was named Oshalaya from that formation.
Oh, I've always said Oxalaya.
They pronounce it Oshalaya, yeah.
I'll remember that.
And, it's so similar to the corresponding part of Spinosaurus that some people have called it Spinosaurus. And you can go down the line with the fauna of this formation, and it's quite similar to North African faunas at the same time. So, so I actually think there's a geographic or a continental component to Gondwanan dinosaur biogeography, but I think there's also a latitudinal component as well. Like I think because if you look at Patagonian faunas from around 100 million years ago, they don't have things like Spinosaurids in them.
Right.
So I think the dinosaur evidence does line up with a South America-Africa split at roughly 100 million years ago.
Neat.
And one little fun fact for those that might not know, you might have heard me mention India in passing, and today India is obviously part of Asia. But during the Cretaceous and during the entire Mesozoic era, or age of dinosaurs, India is a chunk of the southern hemisphere that breaks off from, of all places, Madagascar around 85 million years ago and goes by tectonic standards, rocketing northward, smashing into Asia sometime in the early part of the age of mammals, thrusting up the largest mountains on Earth today, the Himalayas.
Cool stuff, yeah. We've talked about this a bunch of times back home. Oh, Dinosaur Dave wants you to know his road trip. 35,000 kilometers in 4 months.
Wow.
1 week left and it's done, so going all across Australia.
Nice.
Get some rest.
Yeah.
Get some rest, yeah.
One fun panda says, could a velociraptor attack a brachiosaurus? No.
The answer is no. The reason why being that they were separated in time by 75 million years. So
and a continent apart.
Yeah. So Velociraptor is literally half the geological age of a Brachiosaurus.
Yep.
That being said, if you could hypothetically let's say we make a dinosaur theme park where we're cloning dinosaurs and bringing them back to life and putting dinosaurs from different ages in the same place. If a velociraptor attacked a brachiosaurus, that would be the last thing a velociraptor ever did. If the brachiosaurus was cared even a little bit,
or if it were, maybe a baby brachiosaurus.
Well, it's a good point.
Yeah. I always like to think about Antarctica.
Attack a baby macronarian?
You should read the Lost World by Michael Crichton. There's such a scene in that.
Oh,
really?
Really?
Yeah.
The velociraptors attack a brachiosaurus?
They're like chasing motorcycles through the Brachiosaurus.
Oh, that's right.
It's a great scene.
Nice.
I mean,
forgot about that.
If the Brachiosaurus remember too that Velociraptor in Jurassic Park is larger substantially than the real Velociraptor, and so I was assuming you were talking about the real Velociraptor.
It was very small.
Literally the diameter of the hind foot of Brachiosaurus would be larger than the whole length of the Velociraptor. Yeah. So it could literally step on it and probably not even notice.
That reminds me of the Asian fossils where a couple of smaller dinosaurs got drowned in a sauropod track.
Oh, yeah, Limusaurus. Yeah. Limusaurus and Wanlong.
That weird ceratosaur, right? Limusaurus?
Yeah, Limusaurus is and actually, potentially, since we brought up Bahariasaurus and Deltadromeus, in my mind, Limusaurus might have something to do, potentially, with things like Deltadromeus and Bahariasaurus. So.
That reminds me of a figure from a Tony Martin book about trace fossils. Have you seen this with the... what would a hypothetical sauropod vomit trace look like? And there's just like this little Menaraptoran dinosaur skeleton just splattered there.
That's from that? I've seen it on I
actually have never seen that, but now I feel like
I didn't know it in context when it was from.
It's pretty funny.
I've never seen that, but I really want to now. Death by puke.
We had another question. I guess for the group, what was the hardest dig you've ever been on and why?
What's the biggest dog you've ever seen?
I'm of very minimal experience, but this and that.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm tearing the jacket down last year.
Yeah, Cedar Mountain's going to feel like a vacation after this. Yeah.
Is this one pretty hard by you guys' standards? It feels like Almond feels pretty tough to me, honestly. It's hot.
Yeah. But not hot enough to erect shade tarps.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying because it's right in the middle where it's...
Yeah.
It's
also
and we're
too
kind of
windy.
early, which is good.
Yeah. The hardest dig I've ever been on.
What are some of the things that make it tough? What are some of the variables and elements? So heat is one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Matrix.
Wind.
Sandstone, if it's sandstone as opposed to mudstone.
Yeah, if it's really hard sandstone, that can make it really tough.
Okay.
In certain parts of the world, things like snow and ice.
Yeah.
That's why we don't come out here till June, because there are there are snowstorms in May here.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and Ethan's calling me. Here, let me get this.
There's another site, Lex's site, that is just nothing. There's bones in the rock, but it is nothing but sheer sandstone. So you are chiseling everything out. It's not like this where you can use a little fine motor tool. You have to physically break everything apart.
Or saw it out.
And then
with a rock saw.
It's also up even worse ravine than some of these, where it's hard to carry it down. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked a lot already. Does anybody else want to go?
Yeah, okay. Ethan was just calling chicken.
Bennett, this is your first dig, right?
This is my first ever dig.
Okay, Katie too? Mm-hmm. Okay, and Lauren?
Yeah, it's literally my first day.
Okay.
Nice.
So this one.
Yeah, I don't know, Ken, what's the hardest dig you've ever been on?
I mean, Yeah, this is because I haven't been on a lot. I did a painted dig at Dinosaur Journey, and then I've been here.
Florida can get pretty hot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to
notice the
quarry.
trend. I hate heat.
You hate heat?
Yeah.
Because you need more showers.
Exactly. Yeah.
We just need to get you a camp shower, and you can be out here indefinitely.
That's what I always tell people. It's like, why not give me a camp shower?
In the Marines, we had I can't remember what they called it. It's just a bag that you hang up.
Solar shower.
Yeah, I have one too, but I'm not going to get naked in front of everyone. You know.
You just set up a little thing with a tarp.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you stand on a pallet.
About getting you a shower curtain for next year.
We need to put that on the wish list for next year.
You heard it first here, chat.
Buy this man a shower for next summer.
We need a happy, joyous Matt at all times.
Exactly. Yeah. Like for me, I'll try to keep it fast. I'm trying to think Greenland 2014 was really hard because the weather was actually really good, but we were not as well prepared for we weren't as well prepared as I think we should have been, and it was again it was sunny, it wasn't too hot, it was pretty nice that way, but we didn't find anything, and that was probably the hardest part of all. I was on this expedition with one of my childhood heroes, Phil Curry, from now at the University of Alberta, back then as well. But when I was, my childhood hero, he was at the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Alberta. So I'm out there with Phil Curry and his wife Eva, and my friend Michael Ryan, and Wendy Silbota, who's this incredible fossil hunter from Alberta. So you got present company excluded, 4 of the best fossil finders in the whole world, and we walked over tons and tons and tons of outcrop in West Greenland and found nothing except for a few fossil plants that had already been known. And on top of that, you hear stories about people going to the Arctic and having mosquitoes the size of helicopters and all this stuff. They're not the size of helicopters, but they're the size of my thumbnail. And so every single morning you would douse yourself in suntan lotion, then douse yourself in DEET. And remember, we were out there for, by the 3rd week, of covering myself in this cocktail without a shower and anything like that. I was feeling pretty disgusting. The mosquitoes would never land on me because of all the DEET on me, but they would orbit me like an entourage the entire time I was trying to prospect.
It's like electrons.
So, it was like being, now I know what, Jupiter's like with all these moons circling it the whole time.
You're that one Peanuts character, but you said
yeah. So it was super annoying to be, looking for fossils and having to, just have this cloud of mosquitoes around me the whole time. So it was, there definitely, don't get me wrong, there were moments of awesomeness in that trip, but it was on average pretty hard, especially because we didn't find anything.
Shoot, my most difficult field season. Well, every season has its hard. Oh, it would definitely be Hell Creek 2016, and that was entirely a relationship thing. I had my heart broken that summer, and it was pretty bad.
I actually had So I think we've talked about the Lost Dinosaurs of Egypt TV show.
Yeah.
So if anybody watched that, I feel like, did you guys watch that?
We watched the first 2/3 of it, I think, on stream before coming out.
Okay, so there's a moment in that where young little baby me is staring into the fire with big puppy dog eyes, and you can almost see them glistening a little bit. I wasn't sad because we weren't finding anything. I was sad because my girlfriend dumped me.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a little known fact about that season. You heard it here first. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Matt. That's awful.
No, it's okay.
It's
pretty
the
hard.
Worst when it's in the field.
Yeah, no,
too.
totally. And it's we couldn't even call and talk it out. I just had to, I remember talking to her on the phone and something was amiss, and she's basically it was really hard.
Yeah.
I had to go over to there was one phone in the entire town of Boweety, and I had to wait in line to use it, only to be dumped. So, yeah. I'm still friends with the person in question, though.
That's not gonna be amazing.
No, you're good. Let's see.
And Lily too says he ended up with a super cool wife, so it's all good.
Thank you. Yes,
Very
I did.
true.
Yeah, she's over with Fisher at Turtle Hill today, so hopefully they're finding cool things galore. But I figured I wanted to stream from this site today because it's been a little while. And yeah, 3 days in a row at Turtle Hill is lovely and relaxing, but you know, I want to be able to stream through the sites.
Was it?
Is that anything?
No, it's just planned again, but just look at the side.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Oh, and yeah, Dyson Dinosaurs here. You might know this researcher, Filippo Bertozzo from Italy. Yeah,
I know him well.
He streams on Twitch too.
Oh, nice.
He says, "Hey Danny, how's it going? So nice to see Matt again, working on the ceratopsid. You bet. We're trying to find more of it. So cross your fingers that we do."
I went to that stream on a specific day when he was streaming only in Italian. And,
Oh yeah.
Felt bad.
You
Having
started
to start
streaming-
speaking English.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like,
Yeah,
I'll
because
come
you
back.
prompted. Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
come back.
Filippo is a super cool guy. He's one of the world's experts on pathologies in dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he started streaming in English on Saturdays.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Which is really cool. So we'll have to do an interview at some point. It'll be neat. If anybody watching is not yet following Dyson Dinosaur, consider changing that, please. Go follow right now. And any fossilized prehistoric guinea pigs? No, guinea pigs probably have fairly recent origin, I would imagine.
I mean, there are fossil caviomorphs. Guinea pigs are a type of rodent called a caviomorph. And there are fossils of that group. Tangentially, when we do fieldwork in Patagonia, there's a little type of, for lack of a better word, wild guinea pig that the locals call a queese. And sometimes, you know, just like we have ground squirrels in camp here, we have queese in Patagonia. And you'll wake up with all these little tiny footprints all around your tent. They're really, really cute.
That's awesome.
I just finished reading Splendid Isolation.
Oh, nice.
George Gaylord Simpson.
Excellent, excellent.
Which is all about like South American fossilized fauna.
Yep, especially mammals, yeah.
Noto ungulates and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole chapter that's like just about caviomorphs.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
neat.
One of Simpson's most treasured localities was a place called Gran Barranca on the shore of Lago Coleoapi, and that's really close to some of our dinosaur localities.
Would you recommend that? The book?
Absolutely. It was fascinating.
I should get that,
It's
yeah.
a little dense,
Uh-huh.
but the information is really interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He has Simpson has like a travel log as well called I think it's called Bone Hunters in Patagonia.
Sounds familiar.
That might be Hatcher's book. I can't remember. Oh no, it's called Attending Marvels. That's Simpson's book. And it's good, but it's very much of a time. Like he like makes fun of the locals a lot, and like it just really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. A lot of the stuff he would say in that book. So, but it was interesting because the city that he worked out of when he was at Gran Barranca is the same one that we work out of. You know, when we're in Chubut province, which is a city called Comodoro Rivadavia, and so it's super cool to read about what Comodoro was like 100 years ago, through the eyes of different paleontologists. But I just couldn't get by the constant making fun of
Colonial
Patagonian
racism.
people. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just being racist, basically.
And Filippo says, I don't know if Matt
that's
remembers. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh.
Is he gonna?
Oh. Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
Oh,
Welcome.
wow.
Yeah.
Way to check out Turtle Hill.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Hi, we haven't met yet.
I'm Jesse.
Lauren. Hello.
I bet you Filippo's gonna say, I might not remember, but we met in a conference in Italy in 2009. Is that what he said?
Yes. Says, I don't know if Matt remembers, but he was the very first international paleontologist I personally met.
Oh no, I didn't. Oh, I didn't know that part of it, but I remember. Absolutely remember meeting Filippo and several others. Alfie Chiarenza.
Yeah. I used to work with Alessandro.
Yeah. At this little conference in Bologna in 2009. It was super fun.
Exactly right. Yeah. See, he does remember. Yeah. And then we had a question: have we found a Sinoceratops? No. Sinoceratops is from China, famously, hence the name. But this is a different kind of ceratopsian that we're digging up here, which doesn't have a name yet. It's probably going to be something new. We'll see.
Sinoceratops is a super cool animal, though, and I'll keep this short because I've talked a lot. But
that's great.
People keep bringing up like some of my favorites. This is a a really great example of the predictive power of paleontology. I think I might have talked about this a few streams ago.
This is great.
But you know, for decades, more than a century, you know, true horned dinosaurs like the one we're digging up here, you know, so big quadrupedal, so 4-footed animals with legit horns on their heads, were only known from North America, and it was always a big puzzle as to why. You know, I mean, why? Because Asia and North America are thought to have been. I thought for a second that was that rock, and I was like,
it's coming down on us. No. I put
like I think my heart just skipped a beat. Seriously.
Sorry, let me put it up there a little bit more securely.
It's okay.
Just trying to keep the sun off the encoder.
Final Destination to happen.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm right in the line of fire of that rock too. Yeah, if I get crushed by a giant 1,000-pound boulder, it was nice knowing y'all.
Don't do that. That would be against terms of service, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Don't want to get me banned.
So for more than 100 years, horned dinosaurs, like true horned dinosaurs, think like Triceratops, Centrosaurus, Styracosaurus, Chasmosaurus, things like this, were only known from North America. But we knew, or at least strongly suspected, that North America and Asia were connected via the Bering Sea region, you know, the Beringian quote-unquote land bridge between Alaska and Siberia at times during the Cretaceous, during the third and final time period of the age of dinosaurs. And so it was a real mystery as to why horned dinosaurs, ceratopsids, had never been found in Asia until 2010, when Sinoceratops emerged from the rocks of China. And lo and behold, it came from... Lo and behold, it came from rocks that are actually the environment those rocks were deposited in is very similar to the rocks that we're digging in here. So it seems to have been not a continental thing, but an environmental thing.
That is a really, really cool story. I love that. How's it going, Ethan?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Did you get the stuff from T-Bone?
Yeah, that jacket is out and in the truck.
Beautiful.
So
was it fun?
No. It was.
Didn't seem like it was going to be.
Still over there. No wind at all.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Good. What
little side quest?
What's the dinosaur over there?
It's probably a hadrosaur bone bed.
Oh, cool. Wow.
But it takes so much work to get the density of the bones is pretty low.
To even get there in the first place.
And
like
the road is so long.
It was. It was
we lost a couple tires there last summer.
When you the time when you least want to find bone, you find more bone. So.
Yeah.
Because Danny had a bone over it that he'd actually flipped on stream last year. And then there was another bone underneath, and we were working on it. And then there was a bone crossing underneath it, so it was hard to pedestal under.
Yeah.
No rat holes. Corey looks really good.
Thanks. Ethan, define a rat hole for me.
Basically, if you just dug a pit, like the one you're sitting in, if you just went straight down, if you found a bone,
gotcha,
and dug like a little deep perimeter, like a bowl, a little valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that Don DeBlue terminology or?
I think I've heard it from a number of people. Yeah. It's just makes it hard to see new bones if you find them.
I definitely heard it first from Don.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is a Don thing. A Don isn't.
Like Chunder.
Chunder for sure.
Yeah.
What's a chunder?
To crawdad a fossil is to just break
it.
Yeah.
Same with to chunder something. It's just to dig right through it, mess up a bone.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I hope I don't chunder anything.
This looks like the real thing.
I guess we had a wasp crawling on the camera.
We were talking about the lost dinosaurs of Egypt too.
People were talking about it in the chat.
I had to say that line 10 times.
Yes. That is genius.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
The little fan.
Does it actually do the trick?
Well, so I went to the baseball game on Sunday, and it was 95 degrees. And so I stole this from my mother.
Nice.
And somewhere Lauren's mother is really hot.
Yeah. It was the last day of the heat wave, so.
Nifty. Tiny fans.
Yeah.
For everyone.
The Ethan, the ice bucket water is down in my car. I didn't bring it up because I'm not sure if we filled it too high or if it just doesn't have a great seal because the
it's kind of leaky.
It's pretty leaky.
Those love to not seal.
Okay.
They're kind of famous for it, unfortunately.
Okay. But at least we'll have cold-ish water waiting for us down there.
Absolutely. No, any bone fragments, any turtle?
Nothing.
Anything?
Not a single thing, just a bunch of plant material.
Just
weird.
Swinging and missing again and again.
We got at least 2 more meters to go by Curry's.
For sure, yeah. By the Curry mile.
Curry metric.
Yeah.
Maybe, I'm thinking maybe we get really desperate. maybe what I'm standing on here, maybe like a few inches under here, because given how steeply it's dipping, we might have a bunch of new bone surface, like a few inches under here.
Danny's kind of been working for it.
Sure, yeah.
I'm kind of working this way right now, but if somebody wants to get in behind me, yeah.
It's all gotta, I guess it's all got to go.
Yeah. We've got, what, 4 days left?
Yeah. It's not looking extremely bright for this little spot, unfortunately, but we did get the grand prize out already.
Yeah.
So we can't be too shady, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, if, again, as you said, if we could have one bone, that's the bone to have. So
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of mystery bones, too, that are already jacketed.
That's true.
Don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Could be a jugal or something.
That'd be sweet. Anything else is a cherry on top.
We've got some other good questions, too, Chad. I'm not neglecting you. We're just, waiting.
We're just doing IRL stuff right now.
See, he's learning the lingo, Chad.
I'm gonna be AFK for a minute while I go check on Turtle Hill.
I'm lost.
Away from keyboard.
Ah, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's gamer speak.
I didn't know that one either. Yeah.
Mandy and Fish at Turtle Hill?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I had texted them earlier, but they must be pretty busy. Never got back to.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Deep in some fish action.
Fish are deep in fish.
Living up to his name.
Exactly.
You'll enjoy meeting him, Lauren.
He's really great.
Yeah.
Have you been over to Turtle Hill yet?
No, not yet.
Oh man, it's really cool. It's like you find a new fossil every few minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. Lots of really awesome little bones, and fish and crocodiles, and all kinds of stuff.
Plants and inverts.
All the not dinosaurs.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any dinosaur material from Turtle Hill at all yet?
There's like a 3
Random
square
bone.
inch fragment of ceratopsian frill from there.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah.
There's also some other just random bones in there, too, that are clearly dinosaurs.
Poorly preserved big bone chunks.
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't
Yeah.
traced those in yet because they're honestly less exciting than the actual
Yeah.
vertebrates there. Man, this is such a hole. This is crazy.
Yeah.
We really went to town on this thing.
Putting that
Yeah.
excavation permit to use.
Yep.
Yeah.
I said 10 meters in every direction, and I
mean,
was almost
Up, down,
almost bloody.
left, right, diagonal.
I am, yeah. I mean, even if this doesn't yield any more bones, I am really proud of the hole we made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's,
Yeah.
It's not the parietals we found, it's the friends we made along the way.
But in all seriousness, that's one of the greatest things about fieldwork is that, you go through trials and tribulations together, and as long
Yep.
as you don't end up despising each other, and we usually don't, you make friends that sometimes last the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's an inside joke factory.
Yes,
Definitely.
it is an
Yeah,
inside joke
absolutely.
factory. Exactly.
Right,
And sometimes
I'll be,
those inside jokes resurface years and years and years later.
Back in the field, we're going to go check out Turtle Hill.
Okay, cool. Tell Fisher we love him.
We will.
Let's see, questions. We had one if, we've got like a blank check from Netflix to create a dinosaur documentary about any particular time period, like any particular time and place. What would you pick and why? I'd want to do a really good one about the Hell Creek. I know it's cliche, but like we've learned so much about that environment in the past 20 years that I think that could be really, really cool.
I would like the early Jurassic, but there's not enough to really have an entire thing about it. Can we have a script? Can we have a script that was not written in the 80s?
You know what? Actually, you found the correct answer. The correct answer is a dinosaur documentary about the Coniacian stage. With an unlimited budget, we could do, a decade's worth of field work in order to find everything. Yeah. That's my answer.
I think I was looking on Instagram, and Lindsay Zano's team just found a Coniacian ankylosaur from Utah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Skull included.
Intriguing.
Yep. Found by my good friend and extraordinarily awesome fossil finder, Eric Roberts.
Nice. Very nice.
I mean, for me, this is going to shock everybody, but it would be Southern Hemisphere Cretaceous.
Nice.
And I think I would do it kind of prehistoric planet style, except I would make more of a differentiation between what we know and what speculation. Like I think that in some of those for lack of a better word, the supplementary material to Prehistoric Planet.
Yeah. I wish there was more of that.
Yeah,
it was good.
There's some online videos and stuff that they did where they kind of explain, where knowledge stops and speculation begins. But I would have liked to seen, personally, and this is, I know not everybody's going to agree with me, but I personally would have liked to see more differentiation between, here's what we know and here's where we're kind of inferring.
We could just have you pop up as a talking head and be like, "Hi, I'm Dr. Matt, the paleontologist."
You may have remembered me from such educational things as
1 minus 2 equals negative
2
fun.
2 minus 3 equals negative fun.
And firecrackers, the silent killer.
The silent killer. Me and you, partners in freedom.
Those Goler sacks.
Yeah, you've heard me rant about that, so yeah.
Yeah, and then we had another good question too, and it was your favorite dinosaurs as a kid. This can go for everybody. Are they still your favorite dinosaurs today?
Ooh.
And why? I can answer this first, I guess. I've had a number of different favorite dinosaurs from the time that I was a kid. Velociraptor for a long time. Gallimimus, Parasaurolophus, Dryosaurus for some reason. For a good while there.
The Dryosaurus, lobby is very powerful. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Truly the king of dinosaurs.
I was going to say Dryosaurus stands, but I'm not sure if I'm using that term correctly. Help me, Jen.
That is in fact.
That sounded right.
All right, okay, yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. My favorite dinosaurs today are usually ones that I've worked on or discovered in the field or excavated or I'm currently working on papers on. So Spinosaurids, Alvarezsaurs, Ceratopsians, like Baryonyx, Triorarchuncus, Chasmosaurus, Leptoceratops. Dinosaurs like that I'm very fond of because, I don't know, the more that you work on these critters, hopefully the more you like them, I guess if you don't enjoy your research, then you might have negative feelings about your dinosaurs, but yeah. But I definitely have positive feelings toward mine.
I've been told I need to be nicer to the dinosaur in this quarry so it'll give us more bones. So my favorite dinosaur is this one.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Always has been.
Lamanoceratops.
Yeah, totally. No, my favorite dinosaur when I was a kid was seriously Triceratops.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yep. And it's at some point, and I think it was about when I was around 11. I guess the common denominator here is horns because I was reading a Discover magazine article, and I talked about this a couple streams ago too. But I saw a picture of Carnotaurus in a Discover magazine article, and it became my favorite dinosaur not only because it looks awesome and is awesome, Prehistoric Planet notwithstanding, but also because it's emblematic of the weirdness of Southern Hemisphere dinosaurs compared to their Northern Hemisphere counterparts, at least from our Northern Hemisphere centric perspective. Anybody else? This is a question.
Did I tell you about the young paleontologist in training I met in Alberta? She was doing the guiding at the Centrosaur bone bed.
No, nice. I don't think I did hear about that.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice, yeah.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool, pretty cool.
So what's everybody else's favorite dinosaur?
For me, when I was a kid, Stegosaurus was the dinosaur.
Nice. Cool. Good choice.
And I mean, still, you can't not love the Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
But, recently I've been actually reading more material and, learning more, generally just whatever I'm reading about is what I'm into.
Yeah.
I read a book that was, I don't remember the title, but it was all about, flying dinosaurs. And it was these are fascinating, these are my favorite. And then, it depends on what I'm focused on in the moment.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's often true for me too.
Yeah. Katie? Not to put you on the spot, you don't have to answer.
No, you're good. My favorite dinosaurs as a kid were, I think the dinosaur that really started it all for me was Diplodocus carnegii.
Nice, yeah. Hometown hero.
Yep, hometown hero. But my favorites as a kid were Pachycephalosaurus and Parasaurolophus.
Nice.
And I don't know that I necessarily have a favorite right now. I'm kind of just enjoying all of it, I think.
Nice.
I mean, my cliche favorite growing up was Tyrannosaurus. My slightly less cliche favorite, now that Matt brought it up, was Carnotaurus, but my punk favorite is Camarasaurus. So
nice.
No, Camarasaurus is pretty mainstream.
Oh, well, make me feel like
most
I'm lame.
common sauropod in the Morrison Formation.
It is.
Haplocanthosaurus is what you're looking for.
I like me some short machinarians. Okay.
Yeah, no, fair. It is a super cool dinosaur. Have you seen the 3D printed Camarasaurus skull that I have in my office?
I think is it one of the things that you switch out?
Yeah.
You switch out so often that I don't think I've seen it. So.
No, every day I try and switch them out. Yeah.
I wonder if anybody on the feed, anybody else liked the Dilophosaurus during the Jurassic Park era, and before we learned the truth about the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah.
But then I think my favorite now that I went to the Royal Tyrrell and saw the Nodosaur.
Oh, Borealopelta.
It was like
be still my heart.
It was like a dinosaur mummy.
Yeah, incredible.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Borealopelta Mark Mitchellii.
Yes.
They named it after the guy who spent 5 years of his life putting it back together after it fell apart in the...
Controversial hot take. Borealopelta means northern shield, and I get it.
Boring name?
But it's a boring name. I mean, for a dinosaur that awesome, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. What would you have named it?
Something that has the word Teryx in it, because that means fortress.
Oh,
like one of my favorite dinosaur names is Anamanteryx. It means animate fortress. Was named
is that how you say it?
I think so. That's what I would say. But
Fortress explosion.
Yeah. So apologies.
Exploding fortress. Yeah.
We named that, but it's again, northern shield. I mean, like you got a freaking mummified Ankylosaur, Like dig deeper,
It had a face.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Weirdest.
It's an incredible fossil.
It was like I was like kneeling down and like face to face with it.
Yeah. I feel like it could blink at you or something. Yeah. Do those guys have armored eyelids, or is that just Ankylosaurids?
I think Ankylosaurids only.
Yeah.
But I'm not an expert in that group.
That's crazy. Like, what kind of trouble are you getting into where you need to evolve armored eyelids? Yeah. Like, what are you doing where, like, evolution you evolve armored eyelids? That's nuts. Have any other tetrapod groups ever done that? Like glyptodonts? I don't think they have.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Bizarre.
And I shouldn't rag on other people's dinosaur names. I'm sorry, Chad. But But I remember when the name, everybody had heard about this crazy thing, and I remember when the name came out, I was like, oh.
That's a choice.
There are Canadian ankylosaurs actually this is a Montana ankylosaur named by Canadians with incredible names, like Zool Curavastator.
Oh, is he from Montana?
I think it's from Montana. I think so. Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
I want to say it's from Alberta, but I don't know.
We can have
normally the Canadians just purchase things from Montana.
Right, but that's
was
they
Zool
did
purchase
this.
Okay, it probably is from Montana then. Yeah.
We can have a geography off later. Dave.
There you go.
But yeah, Zool Curavastator, Zool, destroyer of shins. Now that's better.
That's a great name. We were just talking about that yesterday a little bit on stream. And we had what did Filippo say? He had something really good. When I was young, I had a strong moment of weakness for Velociraptor. Then I saw the light, switched to the best dinosaurs ever, the ornithopods. Long live the Dryosaurs, bow down to the Iguanodontians, all hail Hadrosaurids. That's Filippo, yeah.
Yeah. Filippo has an awesome paper that was turned into a cool graphic novel, illustrated by a guy I talked to on email called Louis La Rosa. I just called like a British person would say, named Louis La Rosa, but I think my brain's like just turning into mush. But there's this incredible graphic novel about this Parasaurolophus that got steamrolled by like a log or something. Yeah. And the art in it is completely epic.
Let's see. And did Herrerasaurus really climb trees? I don't think so. Where did that come from?
I've never heard of that.
Anyone say that it did?
Yeah. I've never heard that it's
not an arboreal animal. I wonder where that comes from.
I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
There are definitely dinosaurs that did climb trees.
Death from above.
Right.
Sorry, Rinkosaur. You're not going to evolve into anything anyway. I'm throwing shade on Hyperodapodon. Oh, we've stooped to new levels of low.
It fills the leopard niche, while the Valsukians are the lions.
Yeah, and those dumb Rhynchosaur things are just
gazelles.
The gazelles, exactly.
What's going on in there?
I have the head of a parrot and the body of a lizard. I'm doomed to extinction.
Maybe with the documentary, like something that actually like tackles the Triassic, because I would love to see.
That would be really cool.
I would love to see a bipedal Rawasuki, if that's still like the consensus right now.
It's just like very slow moving.
I want to see somebody animate a Drepanosaur.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, they're so weird.
Yeah. Or Van Clevia, or one of these other Triassic weirdos.
Yeah.
There's just like the crocodilomorphs before the dinosaurs and during the dinosaurs.
It's bizarre.
You get a little bit of it, but it's always like, oh, we better get to the dinosaurs.
Even Metoposaurs too. Like that would be really cool to see.
Toilet seat-headed amphibians.
Yeah. It'd be a nice piece of merch for a museum gift shop. It's like a toilet seat.
Toilet seat that's a Metoposaur? Yes, please. Yeah. Oh, we should. Yeah, we can. Let's do a Kickstarter.
For funding for next year.
Yep. Buy your own Metoposaur toilet seat. We can, design it and,
I can sculpt it for you.
I was going to say, or digitally sculpt it and then 3D print out,
a prototype
to fit any size toilet.
Send it to a fabrication company,
Yeah.
Yeah. I also really want to do a dinosaur chess set. We should talk about that at some point.
What species should you
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like, do you make it like one formation? Is it like a bunch of different dinosaurs?
I mean, I think you probably, for a first iteration, go with just greatest hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, regardless of formation.
Hasn't been under Jurassic Park.
Right.
The king is a Tyrannosaurus and the queen is Dinochirus?
The king is Tyrannosaurus Rex and the queen is Tyrannosaurus Regina.
There you go, yeah.
Sorry.
It's gracile, come on.
That was a sigh. That was a good sigh.
That was a good sigh.
We did have a question from Jack's Facts.
I'm learning.
I don't know if anybody knows this. You might actually know this.
How much hate am I getting for hating the Borealia pelta?
Oh, none yet.
Tons? Okay.
I don't think there's a big Canadian contingent.
Oh, okay.
Does anybody have any recommendations for like rock hounding sites in southern Arizona?
Southern Arizona?
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot of rock hounding in Tucson. Most of what I've done has been in like, there's a lot of good stuff on like the northern Arizona-Utah border, like near like the Escalante, Glen Canyon area. There's a lot of really cool spots up there. I couldn't swear to southern Arizona though.
I think it was southern that Jack's Facts was asking about. I didn't forget your question, Jack's Facts. Just took me a minute to get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know of any. I mean, there's a dinosaur that comes from southern Arizona called Sonorosaurus.
Sure. Which is now is it the state fossil or is that?
Oh, maybe.
It is, yeah.
The state dinosaur?
It's but it's.
It should have been Scutellosaurus. That was a missed opportunity. Like that dinosaur is actually like really important and it's from Arizona.
It's I think it might be on private land though. I can't remember. It's in a pretty inaccessible spot.
Yeah, if you're ever in Tucson and you go to the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum, there's a whole section dedicated to the Sonorosaurus.
That's right, yeah, I've seen that.
Huh.
Yeah, they have like a replica forelimb of it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Idaho's new state dinosaur?
No.
Yeah, that sounds like a joke, because it's not.
I thought it was.
Potato dog.
Like a giant Oviraptorosaur from the Weian Formation or something?
No, it is from the Weian, yeah.
Okay.
It's a Rictodromeus.
Okay.
Yeah, L.J. Krumenacker helped make that happen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Cool. It was like last year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, is the Utah state fossil still Allosaurus? Or have they switched it to...
Yeah, so Utah has both a state fossil and a state dinosaur, and both of which are dinosaurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And their state bird is also obviously a dinosaur.
But
do you know what their state bird is, by the way?
California seagull.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and our state tree used to be the Colorado blue spruce.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the state
Utah,
bird,
why?
Is it the seagull because of like the Salt Lake or something?
Yeah.
It's because when the pioneers came to
crickets.
Utah, they had this huge locust swarm that was killing all their crops, and these seagulls would migrate in from California and eat all the locusts. And they're like, "Wow, you saved the day."
Cool. That's how the story
We'll make
goes,
you
at
the state
least.
bird.
Yeah,
But
that's
apparently,
what I was always taught.
yeah, but apparently it's not actually true.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So like
crazy.
historians have looked into this, and it's like nobody in the contemporary like history, like nobody actually wrote about that at the time. It was a story that they like came up with afterward.
Then
Yeah.
why did they make it the state bird?
Yeah.
You tell
No, but
yourself.
they are native to Utah as well.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so like they didn't migrate in from California; they just lived
Oh,
by the Salt
really?
Lake. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
kind of cool, Danny. It's just barely, you can just barely see it, but it's a little fragment of angiosperm leaf that I just found.
Ooh.
See? Can you see it?
Let's see. I can. Yeah. There's the stem right there.
Uh-huh.
You the veins.
Uh-huh.
Very nice. Maybe can I show the chat?
Sure, of course.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the counterpart. Beautiful. It's faint, chat, but I'll show you anyway. Hopefully you can make this out. So put on your plant eyes here. But right here, we've got an angiosperm leaf. So there's the stem right there. And then you see the veins coming up right there. Pretty cool, right? And then here's the counterpart. You can see it right there. So it's like an upside down triangle. There's the stem. It flares out right there, and you get the veins. See that? Pretty cool. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, no
That's
problem.
awesome, actually.
It's kind of, well, it is totally cliched, but it is pretty cool. You know, along with me and Danny, you guys are now the first things to see that
Yeah.
in 73 million years.
All 850 of you.
Anybody else
Yeah.
want to see? Do you see, Ken?
And what dinosaurs ate those? The plant-eating ones. So angiosperms are flowering plants.
It's really faint,
I
but
would not have even recognized it.
Okay.
Good eyes,
You're
man.
way more
Shoot.
experienced.
With sunglasses, too.
Yeah.
I have to take my sunglasses off, otherwise I can't see chat.
That brush is coming for us again.
Oh, did it fall down? I need to get something else to put it up there. Maybe some burlap.
I mean,
Or I
we
can put the
do
scoop
have
on
an
top.
extra hammer. I don't know how much of it.
Yeah. Just want to keep the encoder nice and cool.
Gotcha, yeah.
That's good enough.
You doing good, Lauren?
I'm good.
All right. Yeah, not all plant eaters are browsers. What browsers were in this environment? Chrome, Firefox. No. I promise that's my worst joke I'll make all day.
I'm a Bing guy.
Microsoft Edge for you?
Uh-huh. Oh no, that's the search engine. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ed. My bad.
Yeah.
Made the joke even funnier.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Yeah. Right. Which browser do you use? Bing.
No wonder it's disappointing to you.
Alta Vista.
GeoCities. That's the website. Hey, Lauren.
Apple Music.
There's I found a little tiny fragment of a flowering plant leaf.
I like how no one says
Oh.
Safari.
Our shadows are in
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yes,
browsers.
I see it.
It's
Wow.
kind of a good question. We don't really
Nice.
necessarily
That's the
know
other
which
side
dinosaurs were
is
browsers versus
here.
grazers
Ah.
among
Not
dinosaur and
really
herbivores.
faint,
Sweet.
Yeah, you can see it kind of well there.
Yeah.
Ornithomimosaurs were almost certainly browsers. Normally, like, I don't know, when we as dinosaur people talk about browsers versus grazers, I should first outline what that means, I guess. So grazers are herbivores that I think of them as eating like a huge quantity of low quality forage. So think about like a cow would be a browser. Just, you know, eating
Grazer?
big, grazer, thank you. Oy. Sorry, I'm confusing you, chat.
It's warm, chat.
Yeah.
It's very warm.
Grazers.
It's like 90.
Grazers are just they're just shoveling plant material into their mouth. They don't care. Cows are grazers, you know? Deer are browsers. They've got a much narrower mouth. They're looking for the choicest bits of vegetation. They'll jump your fence to eat your rose bushes or whatever.
Like we did at my house a couple
yeah.
weeks ago.
Those are browsers. And so trying to figure out which dinosaurs are grazers versus browsers among plant eaters is tricky. But usually the proxy that you use for this is like width of the mouth. So yeah, like among duck-billed dinosaurs, it's often been said that what we used to call hadrosaurians, now we call saurolophines, the wide-billed guys, they were probably grazers, and the lambeosaurines with narrower mouths were probably browsers. But it's a tough one to actually test, you know? You can say that, but how do you demonstrate this, you know?
A grazer is like me at an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. Just consuming massive amounts of low-quality food.
And a browser...
I love that garlic bread.
A browser would be like, you know, childhood me at a salad bar where I would like only eat the croutons, you know? Yeah, I don't know. How would you go about testing browsing versus grazing?
I think the snout width thing is that holds pretty well in modern mammals, at least. Apart from that, I'm not totally sure. I mean, you could.
I know for
plants in the fossil's mouth.
What's that?
Put plants in the fossil's mouth.
There you go.
See if it fits.
I think browsers tend to feed a little higher than grazers too, like on the landscapes. You know, so you think a grazer like a cow mowing down grass and stuff like that.
In landscapes that are dominated by grass, at least.
Yeah, that's
I wonder
true.
if it'd be different in the Mesozoic.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, or at least yeah, I'm not sure. I think, like I said, snout width and stuff. I think that I don't know if you can do this, but aren't again, it probably only really applies to the Cenozoic when grasses are dominant, but like, aren't grasses C4 and many other plants are C3 or something? You can do. There's something you can do isotopically, I think.
Fisher was just complaining about this yesterday, where he went to a bunch of SVP talks, and it was like 8 talks in a row that's all C4 versus C3 and ungulate teeth.
Testing it isotopically to see what they're
Wasn't there something at MTE, obviously we won't get into specifics if you do remember, but wasn't there something at MTE that was
about
talking
sauropods
about C4 versus...
I don't remember that. I may not have seen that talk.
Yeah, it could have been at SVP too. I'm just conflating.
Yeah. I also think about mammoths versus mastodons, where mammoths have got these kind of flat grinding teeth. They're thought to be grazers.
Very similar to modern elephants.
Yeah. Mastodons with those high crowned teeth, that's where they get the name. And they're thought to be like forest-dwelling browsers, eating leaves rather than just eating grass.
Yeah, their teeth, mastodon teeth, kind of give you the impression of, like they're using them almost like those things. When I was a kid, we used to call them lopping shears. They were these big, like, sort of long-handled things that you would use to trim, like, hedges and bushes and stuff like that. You kind of get the impression that they're pushing their teeth together like that, almost, like breaking branches and things like that.
You had shears that looked like mastodon teeth?
No. Just funky.
I was only half listening. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry, I distracted him with the plant.
Yeah, don't worry.
We can pair that for sale with the toilet seat.
There you go. I like it.
The whole house wears one.
The new Carnegie collection.
Paleontology-inspired design.
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to sit on a giant amphibian head while you went to the bathroom?
Every day of my life, man.
Do you really like metoposaurs or really dislike metoposaurs?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Look at all these beautiful stems that Mandy won't care about.
Wow.
That is a good one.
He hates stems.
It's better than the 500 I found today.
Zook says, wouldn't you be able to tell from the wear and tear on the teeth?
The problem is the dental battery.
Well, and also again
losing their teeth.
There were grasses, but they weren't abundant as far as we know, and the wear and tear. To a degree, microwear might help, and so it's a good point. But
dinosaurs also didn't hold on to their teeth for nearly as long as mammals. They're always churning through them, developing new teeth.
Specifically, ceratopsids and hadrosaurids both had dental batteries where they would just be ejecting teeth at the cyclic rate.
There are people studying dinosaur dental microwear to try to learn a little bit more about diet and things. So it's a good idea. It's just again, where I was going is grasses are full of silica, and that produces a really really distinctive wear pattern on the teeth of modern grazing mammals. And again, without having grasses present in significant numbers, at least as far as we know. You know, we wouldn't see the same kind of distinction between a grass grazer and you know, something that's browsing leaves or whatever that we do with modern mammals. So, but it's a good idea.
I did have a conversation with a researcher about this recently. I think it was about Cenozoic mammals, and they were very insistent that I wish I could remember who it was, but that it wasn't the silica in the grasses that caused the wear on the teeth. That it was grit that gets pulled up with the roots of the grass or something like that.
Okay.
And I don't know, I told that to Glenn Storrs and he's like, that's crazy, what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, it sounds like maybe they're not necessarily mutually exclusive either, you know?
Mayor Space's stomach contents might be a better indicator of diet than teeth.
Yeah, the only problem is stomach contents are super, super rare.
And also, they might not be indicative of what the animal is normally eating, because it's like if it died immediately after that. Have you ever thought about that? Where it's like maybe there's a bad drought or something, and they're just eating bark and like pine needles.
All those, all those, you know, birds from northeastern China, Mesozoic, that we find with fish in their guts. Maybe it was just like
the bad fish.
Tried to eat the fish and died. You know, like me with the sardines a few days ago. Yeah.
the fish with a fish half its size stuck in his.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like the famous fish in a fish?
Yeah.
Xiphactinus always ate giant gillicus.
Right, it just, normally it was able to swallow them, but this time not so much.
My mouth was way bigger than my stomach, a little too literally.
Casey Snort says, chat was very concerned about you and the sardines, man.
Thank you, chat. I lived. Barely.
That was a good idea.
I think the takeaway message is like, you know, don't ever go into the field with Matt. Go into the field with Matt. He's super delicate. He needs showers all the time. Can't stand, you know, can't take sardines the size of sunfish.
Ocean sunfish.
Yeah. Mola mola. Let's hear it from Mola mola. It looks like a giant head.
You're so weird and
cool. When I was a kid, I was like, Mola mola is another one. Like, how does that evolve? You know what I mean? Like, and why doesn't something evolve to just obliterate that and have like a huge amount of food at any one go? You know?
They do get attacked by white sharks occasionally, I think, but I think they just don't taste.
I think they taste like crap.
Yeah, I think they don't taste super good.
Yeah,
but they are like one of the most parasitized of all ocean fishes. I think
you have to taste really, really bad to not be worth such little expenditure of calories.
What a cool adaptation too! It's just I taste really bad.
Crap, like crap. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I had heard that too. That they reportedly taste abysmal. So there's one of the best sushi restaurants in Pittsburgh, in my opinion, is called Mola, and you know, maybe potentially poor choice in terms of, but the food is awesome. So if anybody from Pittsburgh is listening, check out Mola.
Ah, nice.
Or watching, I guess. Watching.
And Dyson Dinosaur, Filippo says best place for sardines is Portugal.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
Totally amazing dinosaur place.
Yeah, totally. It's yeah. Portuguese are very proud of their sardines, and rightfully so.
It used to be Central California until they just fished all of them away, and now they're gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go humans.
Yeah. You can learn all about that at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which was built in the
the cannery,
That's
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
The old Hovden cannery.
I went there like 30 years ago.
It's still really cool.
Yeah.
I just went there a couple months ago. And good question from Mike. If not for paleontology, what would you have done for a career, guys? That goes to everyone here. Shoot, I don't know. Gravedigger, maybe?
Skills are transferable.
Should I answer this as the non-paleontologist?
Sure, yeah. So the one sane person in the quarry right now?
I don't know about that. I'm a lawyer.
would have gone into law.
Yeah, I would have gone into paleontology, but for the law. And actually, I'm now a law professor, which is my third career.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm a failed television reporter.
Oh, really?
And then I was a non-failed lawyer, and now we'll see how the professor.
That's an interesting life.
Were you like one of the field reporters, like out, or were you in the studio, or?
No, nobody would hire me to be their reporter.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was primarily a producer of a talk show.
Oh,
huh.
Which was very fun. And paid nothing, or we would all be working at the television station right now.
You're good. I think I'm going to move a little bit further up now.
Okay.
Not in the way, am I?
When I was 4 years old, I wanted to be a paleontologist and an NFL running back. Yeah, and I got to do one of the two, so that's pretty good.
How many seasons did you play? Just kidding.
I used to have, when I was 4, I used to have dreams of being the only running back in NFL history who never got tackled. So, yeah, so every time I touched the ball, it was just a touchdown. Like, it doesn't matter. From the 1 yard line, anything. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
You can also achieve that by just going out of bounds.
Well, that's true. I never thought about it in that much detail.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Didn't they stop the countdown timer for that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Matt,
So yes, the games would go very long with me and them.
Advertisers would love you. So many commercial breaks.
Okay. Yeah, the NFL would love me because they get to interrupt the game with even more commercials.
Let's fix the game. Put Lamana in there.
breaking every record.
You could also solve that by never catching the ball.
I mean, in my fantasy, it was not like that.
The most regretted draft ever.
He's like, you don't know what you signed up for.
Yeah, like, sorry, coach, I can't be tackled, so I'm just going to drop the ball every time.
Well, in answer to that question, for a while I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Oh, like George Costanza.
Yeah. Yeah, I was big into that for a while. And apparently, my grandma did not get the memo when I went to college because she told all her friends that I was studying marine biology.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say she thought you were going into the Marines.
No. Because I went into the geology program and she told all her friends, yep, my grandson's studying marine biology in Arizona.
Did you ever want to fuse the two passions? Are you interested in marine dinosaurs?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I'm interested in pretty much any, paleoclimate, paleontology, marine, terrestrial.
Oh man, you would have loved it at the beginning of the summer with Takuya here, and Glenn Storrs as well. They work on marine reptiles, and
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool having them in the quarry.
I bet it was. Did they do a lot of work up at Turtle Hill?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Let's see, my career thing. So when I was a kid, I really, really wanted to grow up to be a dinosaur. And that didn't pan out, so I did the next best thing.
Should have done that. That would have been way more fun.
And now everywhere you look, people are in those like T-Rex suits doing gymnastics. Or I just saw someone hula hooping in one.
That kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, and bear in mind that both my brother and I were born in the 70s. My brother wanted to grow up to be a, quote, Indian.
From the subcontinent?
So like an indigenous person.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he realized you had to be born to be that. So yeah, it really kind of knocked him for a loop. So I think he wanted to be a fireman after that, and now he's a musician.
Now he's what?
A musician. And a mental health counselor. Actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What is
he has abundant material to work with in our family.
A lot of families are like that.
Yeah.
What does he play?
He sings and plays guitar, but he can basically play just about anything. But he's a solo musician in upstate New York. He used to be the front man for about 3 or 4 different like hard rock, heavy metal bands. And then he has 2 daughters and like can't do like the travel kind of side of it.
Yeah,
so he kind of moved to a solo thing where he just plays at bars and breweries and wineries and stuff. And but it's so much fun to watch him play. He's super talented, and he has like a loop pedal, so he can lay down like a rhythm track and like loop that for the length of the song, and then play over it while he sings and stuff. So yeah, it's super cool. And I have an official John LaManna koozie that I use in camp.
Very
in this
cool.
very expedition.
Nice. Check it out. Oh, we just got a huge raid too from.
Oh, cool, a raid! I love this.
Yeah, 369 people.
Nice.
From Cassia Babis. Thank you for the raid. Welcome to Paleontologizing. We're digging up a dinosaur here, or at least trying to.
Do you know Twitch? A raid is good.
Yeah, so a raid is when somebody ends their broadcast and they take all their viewers and dump them into somebody else. We've got all these cool new people watching right now.
One of the times we did a raid, we gave a raid to someone, it was to Mary's Milk Monsters.
Yeah. Mary has a bunch of goats that she milks on stream twice a day. So, yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody. Hope you had a wonderful stream. Welcome to Paleontologizing. My name's Danny Anduza. This is my channel. We're here digging up a ceratopsian dinosaur in the Almond Formation of Wyoming. And we've got a bunch of awesome people with us, and if you feel like it, you can wave to the camera and say who you are. But I'm not going to put anybody on the spot right now. Yeah.
My name's Matt LaManna. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist in Pittsburgh. Well, not physically in Pittsburgh. I'm currently
from Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Oh, I am in the way. Ken Rayburn from Denver.
I'm Bennett. I'm a student in Arizona, but I live in Salt Lake.
I'm Katie. I'm a student in Missouri, but I work at the Carnegie under Matt.
Lauren Gailey, lawyer, friend of the museum.
Awesome.
Katie, what would you be?
What would I be?
Not for this.
You
don't have to answer.
No, yeah. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. Well, paleontologist first, but that was kind of my brother's dream, so I let him have it until he decided he didn't want to, and then I stole it back from him.
What we're doing is cooler than being an astronaut anyway.
So yeah, astronaut was a goal, but then I realized I had to be really good at math, and I didn't want to do that.
Understandable.
So then, my original plan for going to college was to do genetic disease research. And that just didn't really pan out, for lots of reasons. But yeah, and then I kind of had a little crisis because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I stole my brother's dream back from him.
Nice.
And now I'm here.
That'll show him. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's utterly normal not to know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the weird ones, honestly. It's like, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
Almost a pathology.
Pathology, yeah.
Like, I want to be a dinosaur. Like, oh shoot. Well, I guess I'll be a paleontologist. Yeah. Just know that from age 2.
Grow up to be a dinosaur.
Yeah. I would have been a Marine, an apprentice electrician, or a line haul truck driver.
Are there any biologists who are in the Marines and they call themselves marine biologists? Sorry.
Love the dad jokes, you just got me now.
Yeah.
I bet you that person exists.
Yeah?
Oh, definitely.
I bet, yeah.
And I hope that they're capitalizing on that to the fullest extent possible.
And let's see. Poland is getting over this. Oh, are our raiders from Poland? Awesome. We've been getting a lot of raids from streamers from Poland, which is really, really cool.
Does anyone speak Polish?
I don't, but we got an excellent raid from Generator Frajdi a couple months ago, I guess. And like everyone was speaking in Polish in the chat. And so I pulled up this video of Zofia Kielin-Jaworowska.
Nice.
Speaking in Polish.
Nice.
And because we had just celebrated her birthday like a week before then.
Legend.
Yeah, famous vertebrate paleontologist from Poland. She led the Polish-Mongolian expeditions in the 1960s. Discovered, I think, Tarbosaurus and Gallimimus and Dinosaurus. Maybe not Tarbosaurus. Tarbosaurus is probably earlier.
That might be Russian or USSR, but yeah, definitely Dinosaurus. Definitely things like Nemegtosaurus, Pisciocardia. Gallimimus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the expedition that had like one of the first like accounts of fieldwork written about it?
You're thinking
maybe the Central Asiatic expeditions. Yeah,
the American Museum, Roy Chapman Andrews.
In the 1920s. Yeah.
Yep.
But she was inspired by Andrews on those expeditions, and I guess by the Soviet expeditions in the 50s.
when I was headed out to college, got a shipment of books, and he was like, "I already have most of these. Do you want them?" And so I got a bunch of books out of it, and one of them is like this account of this field expedition that I think was a Polish expedition.
Oh.
I haven't read it yet. It's still on my shelf.
Is it like kind of a weird shaped black book like that? It's so good. That's Sophia's book. Yeah, Hunting Dinosaurs is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I didn't actually know about it until last year. Ethan turned me on to that, and it's wonderful. She wrote that, and that inspired I don't know how many, aspiring paleontologists in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, so that's sitting on my shelf waiting to be read.
Yeah.
I still remember the National Geographic photo of the arms.
Yeah, the Dinosaurus.
Yep.
Iconic.
Yes.
Luis de Hoyos photo. Yeah.
That was one of my faves when I was a kid. I wanted to figure that thing out.
Were you there in 2013 at the SVP talk? I talk about this all the time on stream.
I can't remember.
It was incredible. So it was
which SVP?
2013 Los Angeles.
I was there at that meeting. I don't think I remember.
Oh, you would have remembered if you were in there. Yeah, shoot. It was probably like half of the world's vertebrate paleontologists were all crammed into this ballroom to watch this talk in the.
To finally figure out what Dinosaurus was.
Yeah, it'd been this long. Yeah, so to fill everybody in chat, Dinosaurus is this dinosaur that was only known really from its arms, and it was remarkable, like just 8-foot long arms, maybe 12 feet long. I forget.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah, okay, 8-foot long arms. Clearly, like from a theropod, we call it, theropod, a meat-eating dinosaur, and nobody knew what it was. And like, clearly, this thing is absolutely enormous. And it was this huge mystery for decades, discovered in the 1960s, and then nobody knew what the rest of it looked like until about 2013. And I was there in the audience at the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology meeting when this thing was going to be unveiled, because we heard that they found a lot more material from it. And so it was like, this would be that mystery solved. And so there were probably half of the world's vertebrate paleontologists were crammed into this ballroom, like standing room only. And it was kind of magical. The speaker, I think he was from Japan, and his English wasn't the best.
Yoshi Kobayashi, maybe?
Maybe? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. And so like we were all like leaning in trying to hear what he said, and then this image flashes on the screen. They had a 3D model of the animal all fleshed out, just rotating there in slow motion. And I'd never seen this before at a conference ever in my life. Everybody simultaneously stood up and started applauding.
Oh, love it.
It was absolutely magical.
Nice. I've heard my favorite in conferences are the audible gasp.
Yeah.
When you show like a cool fossil like that nobody's ever seen.
There was that, and then everyone stood up. Yeah, I'd never seen anything like it. It was nuts.
Was it what you expected?
No, totally different.
Yeah, not really. I think for a long time many paleontologists did suspect that it was an ornithomimosaur of some kind, and it is.
Yeah.
But
that's a weird one.
Yeah, but it's super weird. The head looks like a duck, kind of. It has a huge hump on its back.
Yeah.
No, there were a lot of things that were really unexpected on that. Yeah.
Weird critter. Almost like convergent on therizinosaurs in some ways.
Potbelly.
Yeah.
It's like in a way it's like an ornithomimid, so like a gallimimus trying to be a duckbill and a therizinosaurus at the same time.
Jim was saying apparently they've got one in Mexico now. Another dinochirid.
I know if it's the paper I'm thinking of, it's possible, but I would not. It's pretty fragmentary.
Oh, okay.
It's not impossible, but it's definitely not a lot of material that they're basing that on.
It's really cool how much Dinochirus has started to appear in popular media, though. Like Prehistoric Planet.
It's super weird. Yeah,
they should have put it in Jurassic World, but
yeah, it was going to be a Carnegie Collection toy had we not ended the series. Yeah, so
it's been in a number of video games too that I'm aware of only because it's good. Yeah. And Dr. Terra says, why have there not been any latest Maastrichtian dinochirids in North America when they were both in Laurasia earlier? Or would they be a good guess on around what formation they would be at if they were to pop up somewhere? Might just not be the right environment for them?
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Yeah.
Are there hadrosaurs in the Nemect?
Sure.
There are?
Yeah.
So it's not like they're getting pushed out by hadrosaurs?
No, it can't be. Yeah, there's... Saurolophus angustirostris is there.
That's right,
There's a thing called Barsboldia, which may or may not be legit.
Like a lambeosaur?
I can't remember what else. Maybe not anything else, but yeah, it's it is interesting. Like we talked a little bit about the predictive power of paleontology before. I can't think of any reason why they wouldn't be in North America, but if they are, we haven't found them yet.
Right.
Or potentially this one from Mexico is, but again, if it's the paper I'm thinking of, it's we could use I think a few more pieces before we get too excited.
It could totally be a plants thing too, where it's like there's some sort of plant that they're exploiting that just doesn't exist in that diamond plate.
Yeah, potentially, but it's remember too that it took when was the first quote unquote bison alticornis described? In the 1870s, 1880s, something like that. The first horned dinosaur. And it took until 2010 to find them in China. So just because we haven't found them yet doesn't necessarily mean they weren't here.
Although if they were in the Hell Creek, we would have found them by now.
Probably. But yeah. I mean, they might have just genuinely been rare as well.
Although they seem to be pretty common in Mongolia. That doesn't mean they're not rare in North America.
There's a few specimens. They're not as common as the duckbills are.
Okay.
Or Tarbosaurus.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good question. It's it's akin to the old back when I was in grad school, we wondered why there were no North American therizinosaurs. And then there were North American therizinosaurs with the description of Northornicus McKinleyi from New Mexico. New Mexico.
Yeah. And then Falcarius, potentially like Jim said, 1 million individuals. Maybe 1 million bones.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's a huge bone bed.
Yeah, and it may just be like a recurring thing where they're going back every year, and then a few of them die, and
maybe.
It's just site fidelity.
There's another Northornicus too from Utah. So we know we now have well-established North American therizinosaurs, but
what happened to them?
Up until 2001, we didn't. And why don't they show up in say the Hell Creek or the Judith River or the whatever? Did they
or the almond
become extinct? Yeah,
maybe. Members of our crew have found one today. Probably not, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
I think Northornicus graphemi is about, and McKinleyi, they're both about 90 million years old. So, they were here into the Late Cretaceous, and it's not completely impossible that they could have lasted longer. That's the fun thing about dinosaur paleontology is that we're still, in a lot of ways, scratching the surface of our knowledge of these animals, and there's so many more great discoveries out there waiting to be made.
Definitely.
And hopefully in this quarry today, or else I might go insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A frilled therizinosaur.
Yeah, that's right. This isn't a ceratopsid at all. It's a stealth therizinosaur.
And Salamander says, why is feathered Dinochirus the default reconstruction? I think, don't we actually have feathers on them?
No, I don't think there are feathers known for Dinochirus itself, but there are, I believe,
for other
Canadian ornithomimids that have feathers preserved.
Yeah.
That's why.
I want to say there was some hint of feathering on the Dinochirus. Specimen.
I could easily be wrong, but I don't remember. I don't remember that occurring. But
somebody look it up. Yeah.
I remember that from the television program, but I can't attest to its scientific validity.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Prehistoric Planet, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, it's where it's kind of like it reconstructed as moose-like almost. It's like in a swamp, and
he's going about his day.
Right, and he poops in the water and
It's a circle of life.
Yeah.
Eating the water plants that are fertilized by his young.
Dinochirus pooped too. Everybody poops.
All right, question from Anastasia. What is your favorite dinosaur movie? Bless you.
Thank you.
Well, I know Danny's is 65.
Oh no.
Yeah, me too. Second. Testify.
Sorry, Danny.
No, that's okay.
I watched that at a friend's house. And they were like, "This is so good," and I was like,
Let's see. Maybe I can. Have you seen that, Matt? The parody one that I made?
No, but I really want to.
I can show it to you because we've got the Wi-Fi running.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those that, those in the quarry and those online who don't know, so the movie 65 is supposed to be, the 65 stands for 65 million years ago. but the asteroid actually hit at 66, we think.
Yep.
And so making a movie about 65 million years ago, Earth, you would just have lots of small mammals bouncing around. It really wouldn't be that big of a deal, I don't think.
Tiny little crocodile.
Oh, there's Jim. Maybe 4 yellow cat preserves 4 species and 5 faunas, an extinct replaced during Cenomanian Turonian immigration interval from Asia. Interesting, Jim.
Anything interesting in here?
Oh, and we already have it in chat, but here, okay. Yeah.
Not really.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks cool.
I gotta auto-rotate it. There we go.
Water is gone.
The question is, interesting to who?
Yeah, there's
Andy?
the
Probably not.
disclaimer that I put there.
What are we watering the bugs with? Because they just got really
Come on,
bad.
play.
I'll go look at the...
Is the volume up?
I don't know where the
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Here, I'll
are.
turn it
They
up.
are back in force. It's
Oh,
true.
they're still very active.
We need the bug gone.
Yeah, you can hold it if you want. Just don't drop it, because I don't have a case on it.
I wonder if it's the time of day that they're.
I added this part at the beginning just to set the scene.
Up here. Oh, it is not very windy.
I mean, it is starting to cool, but also, I think a lot of the water's evaporated over there, so I'll refill it.
It's getting a little competitive for them over there, so they come here.
I love the footage from...
Charter 373. This is Commander Mills. My ship was hit by an undocumented asteroid.
This is Kylo Ren.
Live reaction by Matt Levant.
Send help.
Yeah, it was completely empty. Now it has water again, so we should be good.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, all of a sudden it would just like sit down.
Wait a second.
Sounds like Ethan's coming back, but I don't know, Katie, did you want to show Lauren over to Turtle Hill, or are you both happy over here?
It's completely up to you. I'm good with
Love it.
whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
You can see it tomorrow.
I could probably
you can
cut it
see
down a little
today.
bit, but
Whenever I hear Adam Driver's voice, I just think of
Yeah, I mean-
Kylo Ren, undercover boss.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a radar technician. When did you know I was Kylo Ren?
I honestly probably am
Hi,
the best
I'm
guy
Matt.
to go next. I did get lost coming back from
I was
this.
really felt really
Only
bad about his
briefly,
We
son.
get
I
lost
just
every
went
time.
They killed him.
Every time we get lost. So.
Okay, that's fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, chat, for sitting through that. Thank you, Matt, for sitting through that.
Rick,
Yeah.
you'll know you're in the right area.
I don't know, I think you can...
Blobrana says they need to find a swimming dinosaur. Most dinosaurs can probably swim.
To some degree, sure.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, we've been, and we talked about this on the stream a little bit, but I mean, I think Spinosaurus could swim to some degree. I don't think it was a dolphin or a tuna, but I think it could swim probably crocodile ballpark, you know, something like that.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe like a horse.
Okay.
Horses can swim pretty well.
Yeah.
So can elephants. I don't know. I don't know if they're actually sculling with their tail. I kind of wonder about that.
Yeah,
you know?
okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we can agree to disagree. It's
Yeah, yeah.
friendly discourse. Yeah.
But I don't. Do they have big transverse processes on the
On the
tail?
proximal caudals, I think they do.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've mostly tried to ignore Spinosaurus in the Spinosaur paper I'm working on right now, just because it's kind of safest to do that.
Well, it is. It is.
yeah.
And I do think, you know, anybody that thinks it was chasing fish rapidly, I think is
Yeah.
also wrong. But, and I'm not, you know, I mean, I'm not always, I'm wrong a lot of the time too, but I mean, to me, it just has enough aquatic adaptations, enough crocodile-like adaptations that I kind of see it as living that way.
Oh, Blobrana says, sorry, I meant ocean swimming dinosaurs. I can only think of a few. Hesperornithiforms?
Well, I was going to say birds, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't know of any oceanic dinosaurs other than birds. And there were some Mesozoic birds that did live, did swim in the ocean. As Danny said, Hesperornithiforms. Things like ichthyornithiforms could probably, I don't know if they could swim, but they lived at sea. This thing called Vagavis that some friends and I have worked on from Antarctica probably was diving into the ocean. But in terms of non-avian dinosaurs that were in the ocean, we just don't know of any. We do find kind of a peculiar number of ankylosaurs and hadrosaurs in marine sediments, which kind of implies maybe they, especially hadrosaurs, might have gone for a swim from time to time. But I doubt it was their primary mode of life.
I kind of wonder with those guys, ankylosaurs especially, if they're just particularly prone to a bloat and float kind of a thing because they've got really tough skin.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, so, it actually may apply to both. Yeah. Because one of the things Mandy was asking me the other day is like, how come when you find a dinosaur with skin in Western North America, it's almost always a hadrosaurid?
Yep.
And it's like, I'm not sure, but it might have something to do with the how resistant their hide was, maybe. When you think about it, they don't really have much else going for them in terms of defense. They're not particularly fast as adults, probably. They don't have horns or spikes or armor. Maybe they just, I think a big full-size tyrannosaur probably would have no problem, but like maybe a juvenile, tyrannosaur would have a hard time biting through that skin, potentially.
Sure. Yeah. I've got another, I'll tell you later, Matt, but Jim and I have another idea about ankylosaurs too.
Okay.
But I can't discuss it on stream yet because I don't want to get scooped.
Some people have talked about them having extensive hindgut fermentation, which would make them very gassy.
Oh, for ankylosaurs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, their teeth are so underdeveloped.
They are very small,
Empty poster related?
Yes.
I gotcha.
Ken knows what's up. Yeah.
Okay.
And we got another question. Are you guys basically kids that didn't grow out of the dinosaur phase? Lol. I mean,
yes.
Sounds a little dismissive, but actually, yeah.
Yeah, I'll own that, sure. Yeah.
Or you could say that, we are adults that never had our spirits broken by, by society.
I grew out of it and grew back into it, so I don't know what that says about me.
Reformed, yeah.
I mean, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Chapo Ali says, bro, let the dinosaurs RIP. They are there for memories, not to be making money out of it.
Oh,
I wish we were making money.
Yeah, we're not making money out of it.
No, we're volunteers on this crew, so we're not getting paid to do this, and we're doing this purely for the benefit of science. All of these fossils are going to be going to the Cincinnati Museum Center. Eventually, some of them are going to get cleaned at the Carnegie first. They're going to get prepped there, and we're very grateful for that.
Yeah, I'm actually losing quite a bit of money on this venture.
Yeah, I guess strictly speaking, I'm probably the only one getting paid right now through Twitch subscriptions, so yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you'll probably be down here tomorrow anyway, so it's up to you whether you want to see it today.
Yeah. If they were making money doing this, they could afford that shower for Matt.
But it's up to you.
Yeah.
I'm comfy here.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you want to go to the phone?
Yes.
Oh, you want to go now?
Sure.
You going to check out Turtle Hill?
No, I'm going to go check out that.
Oh, nice, yeah. Yeah. See some actual bone for once.
It's moralizing. gives you a little boost.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, there is bone out here.
Do you know anything about them? What they're from?
Those bones?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them, actually.
They look like ornithischian bones to me, just based on the texture. But I don't know. They're pretty.
That's what's most common. So.
Pretty scrunched up.
Yeah, that was another question. Like, why are they not worth excavate? Like the
Yeah.
condition.
I mean, they could be, but I think that when people tried to figure out where they were coming from, they were unsuccessful. So, and that's what you have to do to make it worth it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
you know, and then
I was
sometimes
curious about what makes you think like, oh, there might be more.
Whenever you find fragments like that, you attempt to find the layer they're coming from, because that's where the well-preserved stuff is going to be, the stuff that hasn't been beat up by the elements for decades, you know?
Yeah.
crap. It's taking out a lot of rock. I sure didn't realize because I was on top of it.
You know, I almost wish that I had tried to remember, so like what the status quo ante was.
Oh, like when you started digging, like what did it actually look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take a picture tomorrow and like, you know.
I think I took a picture near the beginning of the day today.
Okay.
Let's see. We do have, actually, maybe you and I could talk about this, Matt. Yeah. Why are we doing this instead of planting fruits and vegetables to feed people? Because we have a chatter talking about that. And why is it important to study dinosaur science, you know?
Well, I mean, I think for me, like, the most powerful thing about dinosaur science is that it's often one of the first things that gets people into science to begin with. You know, in my case, it was, you know, I was one of those kids that always loved dinosaurs, and in my case, I never really grew out of it, as one of the previous commenters said. But I think for a lot of people, you know, they get interested in science because of dinosaurs or because of astronomy or because of marine biology or something like that. And then go on to do other sciencey things like potentially, you know, attempting to solve food shortages and things like this. So, you know, I personally don't know the first thing about, you know, about solving global hunger or things like that. So I choose to do this because I'm pretty good at it and because I feel like it could inspire people, you know, who might go on to do things that, you know, have, you know, I don't know, have immediate societal impact like something like that would have.
I've heard the phrase a lot that like, oh, well, you know, dinosaur science isn't going to cure cancer, and I often say like, well, not so fast. It might in an oblique kind of way, because, you know, if there is ever a cure for cancer, it might well come from somebody who was originally inspired to go into a scientific field or medicine. You know, they were inspired to go into that because they were interested in dinosaurs as a kid. For so many people around the world, dinosaurs are kind of what first sparks their love of learning. And so the stuff that we're doing here has larger societal ramifications, even if, you know, it might look like we're just scratching around in the rocks right now, but the sort of thing does actually have an impact on larger society.
I mean, I don't know, from a layperson's perspective, like,
yeah,
paleontology for me reminds me of the immensity of time.
Yeah.
And that everything changes all the time, and we have only been here for a speck in history of the world, and it makes our problems seem a lot less important. It keeps us humble,
yeah,
I think.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's one of the best things that paleontology can provide is perspective like that.
It is
yeah,
on
it's
that.
Sort of like the pale blue dot, only instead of space, it's time.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
In the sense, too, of kind of perspective, I guess, you know, we can't run the climate change experiment, you know, but we can't, like, we can simulate what it's going to be like all we want. We can attempt to predict what's going to happen, but by the time that experiment has been run, it'll be too late to change the outcome.
Yeah.
And so one cool thing about paleontology is that the Earth has experienced, massive periods of climate change over over the course of deep time, and so in looking at the fossil record, we can actually sort of explore what the outcomes of climate and environmental change were in the past, and potentially use that to predict the consequences of present-day climate change.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, we're definitely not out here saving the world or ending global hunger, but we, at least in an oblique way, are providing data that might be useful towards that end.
Yeah. I often like to think of, have you seen the movie Don't Look Up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I know what it's about.
Oh, it's, from a scientist perspective, it's very scary just because it's, I know it's a comedy and it's pretty outlandish, but it's also like...
Pretty dead on.
Yeah. It just seems like it. Enough to like really kind of freak me out the first time I saw it.
It's supposed to be a metaphor for climate change, right?
Exactly, yeah. But, you know, kind of running with that, this whole idea of, you know, asteroids and meteorites and other large bolides in space being something to be really worried about, that kind of comes from fossil science in a way, you know? We saw what happened to the dinosaurs, you know, because of an asteroid impact. We know that that's something we need to watch out for ourselves. And so if there ever is a scenario in which, you know, space programs around the world have to, like, cooperate and deflect an asteroid, you know, that will have happened because we know what happens when a giant asteroid hits the Earth. And that's because of fossil science that we know that. So
I wonder also if there's like a more direct benefit than just inspiring people to do direct work. For example, did the folks who were studying mold know that it was going to turn into penicillin?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
People might have thought that that was pretty silly, like mold, what's the point of that? And then some splashed into the agar. And...
Yep. And even like on a more immediate granular scale than that, it's like any funding that we get here to do this field work, like that is economic stimulus in like a really direct way. It's like all this money that we have, not all this money, we got some money and we're very, very grateful for that, to be able to do this field work. That's all going into like, you know, local economies, you know, we're buying fuel for the vehicles, rental truck, you know, supplies, stuff like that. You know, governments can try and like stimulate the economy by, you know, tax cuts and stuff like that, but this, in my opinion, is a much more effective, immediate way of doing that. Science funding in general is a wonderful way to stimulate the economy. I'm sure there's data on this. It's got to be like a 10 times multiplier or something like that. For every dollar you give to science funding, you know, you're growing the economy $10 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely has an impact, for sure.
Yeah.
I lost my hammer again.
Zook says, have you ever seen the Chicxulub ash layer? So not in Chicxulub, but up in Montana, yeah. We call it the Z coal, the KPG boundary. Up in Montana, it's called the Z coal, and it's like it's really iridium rich. And I have a sample from that in a little glass vial that I turned into a necklace. And so when I'm back home streaming, I wear that, you know, every stream. People ask me, well, what's in the necklace? And it gives me a cool opportunity to talk about the KPG extinction and why fossil science is important. I actually have it back in camp too, if you want to see it.
I want to take one more.
And Nimblefizz says, I sent you all a couple things from your wish list. Thank you for all your fantastic work. Thank you, Nimblefizz. I really appreciate that. Holy cow. That's very generous of you. I appreciate that. Yeah. And we do make this money stretch a long way. Absolutely beats international.
Yeah, that's one thing that people don't, I think, realize about paleontology is, compared to many sciences, and this isn't, you know, necessarily a justification for doing paleontology, but it is an actual undeniable fact that paleontology is a very, very cheap science in terms of like what it costs to do the work.
Yep.
You know, and you know, in our minds, the work that we're doing is significant, and we're doing it for not very much money, which, in my opinion, is an added benefit to that.
So I talk about this all the time with a geneticist friend of mine who streams on Twitch, and I've probably mentioned this to you before, Matt.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
In conversation, but yeah, like $50,000 might pay for like one gene sequencing experiment or something, and they might have to do like 10 of those in order to get a decent paper into a decent journal. And here, we've got way less money than that. We're finding a brand new species or genus of dinosaur, we think, here. We've got multiple dinosaurs that we've already pulled out of the ground so far this summer. So you get a lot of bang for your buck with paleontology.
Yeah, I've done field seasons, especially in places like Patagonia and Egypt. For like, I mean, if I wanted to, if it was just me and my Patagonian collaborators, we could probably do a whole season with 10 people for like $5,000. I mean, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, partly that's because Argentina's economy isn't in great shape right now, admittedly, but it is, in general, paleontology is very, very cheap compared to other sciences.
This airfare has got to be like at least as much as that.
I was going to say, honestly, my airfare is a huge component of it. In fact, my Patagonian colleagues, you know, when I've sent them funds, they can do field work on a couple $1,000s for like 2 weeks, you know, and that can be enough to collect a brand new species of dinosaur from Patagonia.
Shoot, when I was working at that Leptoceratops bone bed in Montana with Denver Fowler, our budget for that summer, if I remember correctly, was $900.
Oh my god!
I think it was maybe before we got the grant, or maybe it was a different summer.
Okay.
If it was, no, 2014, because I think it was 2013 we got that grant that you may have approved.
Oh yeah,
actually.
The Jurassic Foundation.
Yeah. Thank you again for that.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ceratopsian Fund wasn't interested.
Does that exist? Oh, that's Canadian, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Yeah.
And like, between you and me, apparently they only give the money to other Canadians.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
I don't think it's explicitly stated anywhere, but it's just like, in practice, that's what happens.
I mean, they should be transparent about that if that's what they're doing, but...
Yeah. I don't know, I might just be grousing. Yeah. Neverwinter Fool says, physicists spend more in an hour than paleontologists spend in a year. In some cases, maybe.
That's possible. I don't know.
I may have been in Scott Sampson's book, Dinosaur Odyssey, but he said something like one routine space shuttle launch cost more money than has ever been spent in the entire history of dinosaur paleontology.
No,
that sounds right.
That does not surprise me. Yeah.
Even with what was the name of the gentleman paleontologist who wore the fur coat everywhere?
Barnum Brown.
He hunted out here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He almost died out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tonight would be a good night for readings from Barnum.
Absolutely,
because, I have never seen that article, and I really think, like Lauren and Katie, might be interested to hear of, the experiences of this famous fossil hunter here almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I think
I am interested in that kind of thing. Like I bought at Dinosaur National Monument. I bought Douglas's son's book.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Brown's biography back I think down in my car.
Yeah, he was not boring.
Yeah. But it talks about how he nearly lost his life out here during a storm. Yeah. Yeah.
It was so hot, and he's wearing the coat.
Yeah. I think he was doing that for the picture mostly. But yeah. I hope so, at least. Shoot,
for a second, when Lauren said the guy with the fur coat, I'm like, wait, you mean Cassius Morrison?
Whoa.
Maybe Cass is watching. I don't know if he watches Twitch. But...
I've never seen him in chat, but
okay.
Yeah.
No, I would imagine you would definitely want a fur coat in the winter out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably several fur coats.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. More likely.
It gets ridiculously cold here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it definitely does. Like -40.
It is.
Where the Celsius and Fahrenheit scales converge.
No joke. Living in the continental interior like this.
Yeah.
It's blazing hot, at least by my standards. It's very hot today, but it gets extremely cold here in the winter.
What'd you think of the bone over there?
It was nice to actually see a bone.
We'll find some in here.
It's a very nice head of some kind of limb.
Yeah. Let's see. Our website live is trying to troll us with a question, it sounds like, but we don't actually, we can't, it's a question about like non-binary dinosaurs, but dinosaur sexual dimorphism is something that's like really poorly understood. So far, I've never really seen any convincing evidence of male and female dinosaur skeletons looking different at all. There was a recent paper that came out, I think it was from some researchers in like Southern Europe. They were claiming that like they had an ornithomimosaur bone bed or something. There was like, they were able to plot some kind of statistical difference in like the robustness of limb bones or something, but...
Okay, so this is interesting.
Yeah, okay, do you know about this?
Here's another hot take.
Yeah, is it just ontogeny?
No,
okay.
Not necessarily, but so one of the few papers that has attempted to demonstrate sexual dimorphism based on postcranial proportions in dinosaurs is, I want to say it's Andy Lee and Pat O'Connor on Mashikasaurus.
Oh.
Yeah. And the ornithomimosaur from this place is probably a noasaurid.
Oh boy.
And so if that's correct,
where was it from?
Then what's that?
Where was it from? This potential noasaurid.
It's from. I will not be able to pronounce the name, but it's spelled ANGEACARENTE, like Anjaccharon, something like that.
Oh.
And it's been publicized as an ornithomimosaur. But there's a paper that publishes a few images of its bones. And let's just say they're noasaurid bones.
Wow.
So.
Wow, you didn't hear that
controversial
here,
hot
chat.
take.
Yeah. What do you think about the sexual dimorphism thing?
Well, so I mean, if Mexicosaurus is a noosaurid, this thing may be a noosaurid. You know, one is an accident, two is a trend. Maybe they're onto something. So,
because that would be wild. Because, yeah, in modern birds, I don't think there's any osteological way of like telling if a bird is male or female, unless you look at like medullary bone.
Okay.
I had a friend, one of my roommates back in Montana. He did a project looking at all of these different pelvies, like the hip bones of, I think it was of geese. And there were like hundreds of them. So like, and they had record of which ones were male and which ones were female. And the idea was like, maybe the females have got a larger pelvic aperture for eggs. No. Like,
aren't there?
Yeah.
Isn't it pretty well known that some birds, the sexes are dimorphic in size? Exactly. Yeah.
But like, how do you tell in the fossil record if it's just a small male or a large female?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. What I often tell chat in a situation like this, like, oh, how do you tell a male dinosaur from a female dinosaur? They probably had different colors in life, maybe different sizes, maybe kind of like birds. But we also, hot take. We're kind of a joking hot take here.
Controversial hot take.
We have zero positive evidence of any male dinosaurs.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, the only dinosaurs that we could actually sex turn out to be females because they have medullary bone, like this ring of bone in the inside of their long bones.
All the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are female.
We've engineered them that way.
No, and there's also a couple of oviraptorosaurs that are preserved with eggs inside the body cavity.
Oh, they're gravid?
So
really?
Those are girls. Yeah, for sure. But,
I need to look into that, because I need to add that to my answer then.
Yeah, one of the papers is Sato et al. And I want to say the 2000s. It's like a short note in Nature or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I mean, satisfying.
Yeah, satisfying. And look, nothing. More nothing.
Yeah, I've gone from plants and ferns to nothing.
Well, we're making a big, beautiful quarry here.
Yeah,
We'll take a picture afterward. And
when someone comes to film Jurassic Park 7, they'll use this as their set.
Yes. Well, no, it was Jurassic Park and then Jurassic World. What's next? Jurassic Galaxy?
Jurassic Multiverse.
Jurassic Cinematic Universe.
The Jurassic Cinematic Universe, exactly.
Yeah.
No, this reminds me of when I think Danny, I've told you this. I don't think I mentioned this on stream, but one of my favorite things is how the quote-unquote Wankel Rex, the the T-Rex that was at the Museum of the Rockies for a long time, MOR 555.
We've got a ton of emotes on my channel that are based on the Wankel Rex.
Oh, really?
One of my favorite individual dinosaurs, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so that's now at the Smithsonian and has been rebranded, so to speak, as the Nation's T-Rex.
Yeah. I was there for the ceremony in Bozeman for the send-off and helped pack up some of the bones.
And I was actually there at the opening of Deep Time, the exhibition that features the Nation's T-Rex.
Nice.
Captain Rex America.
This actually made my day. The Field Museum has recently started promoting Sue, their T-Rex, as the world's T-Rex. And so I called up, or I emailed Gretchen Baker, who's the director of our museum, the Carnegie Museum, because we have the holotype of Tyrannosaurus Rex, so the name-bearing fossil, the first thing ever to be called Tyrannosaurus Rex.
The OG.
The OG T-Rex is at the Carnegie Museum. The only T-Rex that can only ever be T-Rex.
It is by definition T-Rex. It can never not be T-Rex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I emailed the director of our museum and I told her about the nation's T-Rex and the world's T-Rex and said it's time to brand the holotype as the multiverse's T-Rex. Because no one's going to outdo us.
Wasn't that the plot of the Super Mario Brothers movie?
I didn't see it.
The one with the John Leguizamo back in the 90s.
I never saw it either.
Alternate universe, dinosaurs didn't die out and they evolved into
I have no idea, actually, but now I want to see that, especially because of John Leguizamo.
We've got people in chat who will definitely know this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, not a masterpiece to rival Citizen Kane, but it was fun for
But it has
kids
John
to watch in the
Leguizamo.
90s. Yeah, exactly. Bob Hoskins was Mario.
Nice.
Oh, right, yeah. Shoot.
Dennis Hopper as King Koopa.
That's so weird. I need to see parts of this, at least the highlight reel.
Very campy.
Yeah.
This block is hard.
Oh, and yeah, people in the chat are going nuts over the Mario movie. Yeah, this is Twitch after all.
The dinosaur multiverse. I see, I knew it.
Yeah.
I filled my glove with sand.
Oh man.
We had a question about parthenogenesis in dinosaurs, and up until like last year, maybe, I would have said we don't have any evidence of it, but
is there evidence?
Yeah, condors.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
We have documented parthenogenesis in a condor as of like this year or last year.
No idea.
Yeah, yeah. Which is wild. Because they have...
Does chat know what parthenogenesis is?
I was gonna say, could you get any non-scientists?
Good point. Yes, parthenogenesis is like virgin birth, basically. So it's just like, you know, the female being able to have young without the involvement of a male. So like
Mrs. Skywalker with Anakin.
There you go.
Midichlorians.
Wouldn't that be Ms. Skywalker?
Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah, correct.
And don't turkeys do parthenogenesis? I've never actually heard of that, Nazun, but maybe. If you have a link, I'd love to see.
Turkeys?
Yeah.
No idea. Huh.
I know it's been observed in a condor now. Like under super controlled conditions.
I was gonna
too,
say, was this like, a zoo animal?
No, yeah, this is like a female that's like never seen a male before in her life. Yeah, she might be the only one at that zoo.
When you really want kids.
Yeah. Luke, I'm your mother. Sarah's rainbows. And Commander Argo says, well, frogs, amphibians, can change sex, can't they, if one gender does not exist? So a bunch of different groups of animals do this. It's been known to happen in amphibians.
Clownfish.
Clownfish, yeah, it's really common in,
like
in a lot of ray fin fish, yeah. California sheephead are a really good example.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that giant wrasse, isn't it?
Yeah. They're all born female. And only the ones that get old enough and large enough transition to being male.
Yeah, but that's what
and that's just none of them are born male. That's just how it works for all of them. Which is actually like kind of an interesting way to like, you know, make sure that like the best genes are the ones that get propagated through the population. Not to be like,
congratulations, you've unlocked male.
I wonder if that would make them more vulnerable to overfishing, though, or something like that. There's got to be a detriment to that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I wonder what dinosaur sex was determined by. So we think that, like birds, they would have had chromosomal sex differentiation. So like, what is it, ZW and...
That sounds right.
And ZY or something for birds? I always forget.
It sounds right. I don't know.
But I think ancestrally crocodiliforms are thought to have had that too, but some of them kind of re-evolved, like temperature-based sex determination. But anywho, I don't really know this off the top of my head. And Paleontologist VA wants to know if you've got the holotype of Haplocanthosaurus.
We do, yeah. In fact, yeah, we have the holotype of the genoholotype of Haplocanthosaurus, and which is also the holotype of Haplocanthosaurus priscus, the first named species.
Nice.
We also technically, there was a second specimen that was originally referred to, or well, it was originally assigned as the holotype of Haplocanthosaurus utterbacki, but that is, most people think that's just the same as priscus, so that's a second specimen of priscus in most people's mind.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, and then the other species of Haplocanthosaurus delphsi, the holotype of that is at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History.
Right,
so
yeah.
Just a 2-hour drive away.
Is it that close to Pittsburgh? Holy
yeah,
cow.
hour and 45, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. I might have to visit if I visit the Cleveland Museum, or vice versa.
Yeah, they just remounted their
I was there last summer, and like everything was all closed down.
Yeah.
It was honestly really disappointing. First time in Ohio, and I wanted to see some dinosaurs that Ohio is famous for, at least famous for having, if not dinosaurs being from there. But yeah. And Honan the librarian
Nice.
would like to know, do you publish the findings of your fieldwork through a peer-reviewed journal process?
Yes, ideally, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think over the years, I've been involved with probably I think I have about 65 papers so far,
Nice.
and that doesn't count abstracts. But I'm rarely am I the first author. I might be last sometimes or second, a lot of the time. But yeah, I mean, ideally, everything that has scientific merit, and many fossils do, will make it into the peer-reviewed literature ultimately. And I think it's, unless Ethan decides that paleontology isn't for him anymore, or
that chance.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this discovery that we're digging up here will definitely make its way into the peer-reviewed literature as well, and probably quite a nice paper actually, as a probable new species of horned dinosaur from a time and place from which they're not very well known.
Oh, this is disconnected. Hang on a second.
Bummer, I actually stuck the landing on that one.
Oh, we're good.
We don't have peer review.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't
not
know
informal.
that.
People can write responses, but that takes like a full publication cycle, so it's not done often. So what you do is you just informally send it around.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. So you can publish a lot more, a lot quicker, but,
you said in the legal profession, right? Are there legal journals,
Yes.
and they're just not peer-reviewed?
yeah, the law reviews are just, you send it to the editorial staff, which is basically second-year law students.
So it's not quite peer review, it's less than peer review.
Yeah, and that's why you'll send it around to
That's interesting,
scholars
yeah.
in the field, and of course your colleagues at the law school.
We have something kind of like that too, with like journal preprints.
Yeah, and oftentimes in the age before preprints, and even now, people will send things to their colleagues for a quick read through if they have, if the other person has time. I haven't personally had time to do that in years, but but it happens for sure.
How do you
there was a
control
lot of
that?
talk of that in the archives I was doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does it cost? Oh, sorry.
How to control what?
How I'm sure you get a lot of requests to be
To
on
review?
peer review.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
And so, is it just like
I mean, honestly,
I have to do one
I don't have to. Yeah, I mean, I mean, to be responsible, I like to do like a few a year. I used to do about 10 a year, but I gave that up big time.
Like a lot.
Yeah. I'm now at the point in my career where I have probably 10 different collaborators waiting for me to deal with their own manuscripts, like where I'm actually an author. So until I get that backlog cleared, I probably won't do much review anymore. I feel bad about that, but I just, like, for me, it's like, I've got to, like, keep my friends and colleagues, happy and hold up my end of the bargain, and I think I've become very acutely aware of my own, like, kind of limitations in terms of time and capacity, So, yeah, I feel bad about it, but I decline far more reviews than I accept.
It was just the chat disconnected. Sometimes
just because of
the
lack of
chat
time.
app is a little squirrely.
What percentage of your time do you spend on museum stuff versus field work versus academic publication?
Field work is actually quite a small component these days. This is the only field work I've done this year, and I've only been, in Wyoming for about 15 days so far. And in the year before, in 2023, I did 3 weeks of field work in Patagonia. So it's probably, yeah, I mean, over the past couple of years, I've averaged about 3 weeks of field work, so a pretty small percentage of my time. The remainder is occupied with museum stuff and research, and the museum stuff takes the form of, assisting with, like, public programs, like, so, like, exhibits, social media, educational programs, summer camps, that kind of stuff, and also, like, professional service, like, I don't know, like, helping the development department raise money, or, like, that kind of stuff, like giving tours to people when development wants them, that type of stuff. I mean, ostensibly, supposedly, theoretically, my job is 50% research, 30% public programs, and 20% professional service. But it's probably more like 50% like museum stuff,
Yeah.
you know, and 50% non, maybe, something like that. I mean, to be honest, I do. Like, I spend a lot of the week, like the work week, just dealing with museum stuff. Like, I often can't answer emails as fast as I receive them.
Yeah.
You know, and not most, but many of those are from museum colleagues. You know, it just kind of goes with the territory of being like the dinosaur paleontologist at a museum that has dinosaurs. You know, it's a lot of work, but it's good. You know, I like it. Like, I like being, you know, having that my opinion is valued and things like that. You know,
Turtle Hill, they're not wrapping up yet, but he wanted to wrap up
yeah.
towards the end.
But yeah, so
6.
it's a lot.
Sounds good. Half an hour.
I sometimes, you know, I often have to do research on weekends just because I don't have any time during the week. So you know,
I know what that's like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I'm like doing my hobby, so to speak, on the weekend. But it's really nice to be out in the field. Like, I just don't get to do it as much as I used to.
Let's see. We had a question about any dinosaurs that any of us have discovered and or named before. Yeah. Matt's gonna have a lot to say about this.
I'll just keep it quick, but I think that my current new species count is something like 22 or 23.
Nice.
Of
dinosaurs?
Not all dinosaurs. There are about 15 dinosaurs, roughly.
Nice.
So I can't remember the exact number, but I think it's about 22, something like that.
Nice.
And yeah, of that, probably around 15 are dinosaurs. And these are, of course, not things that I've, you know, wandered out into the desert by myself and, you know, dragged back in a, you know, in my backpack or whatever. These are things that, you know, were often discovered not by me, but by collaborators of mine. And I just was lucky enough to have been able to participate in the, you know, in the paper that named and described the animal. I'm rarely first author on these, so, you know, so most of them are not Lamana at all. I think my most, you know, if I have like a famous first authored animal, it's the Oviraptorosaur Anzu Wiley-eye, but so AKA the chicken from hell. But I didn't find that myself. The Carnegie Museum bought it in 2004 before I arrived, so I just was the lucky guy that inherited it. But yeah, so about you know, low 20s in terms of number of species named. I think it probably breaks down by like about 15 dinosaurs, 5 fossil birds. It might be more than 22 actually. Maybe it's maybe not quite 15. I can't remember, but it's around 5 fossil birds, and I know a fossil croc, a fossil fish, and a fossil crab.
Nice.
So yeah. I found the fossil crab myself in Antarctica, and I was hoping the scientists would name it after me, and instead they made me the third author on the paper and made me write a bunch of stuff. So I was very sad. But I really wanted my own fossil crab.
There's plenty more crabs in the Antarctic Sea. You know?
That's true, yeah.
You'll find another one.
What did they name it?
They named it Hedrocarcinus tectolacus, which just means like big crab from the Hidden Lake Formation. I wanted them to name it. My last name is Lamana, and naughties is a common suffix for crabs because it means swimmer. I wanted them to name it Lamanaughties. Yeah,
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, but
sounds like a Spartan warrior.
No such. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, tonight we dine in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was really hoping, but you know, I was devastated, crushed. I think about it every day. I'm kidding. But yeah, it was kind of, you know, I found this fossil crab, I sent it to these guys, you know, they established as a new species, and I had zero interest in being part of the paper, but yeah, they sent it back to me and said, write the geology section and we'll make you third author. I'm like, cool, awesome.
Yay. And I should point out too that, like, if you're an author on the paper, it can't be named after you. That's one of the ICZN rules.
Yep.
The International Code of Zoological Nomenclature.
And I think it's technically possible to name something after yourself, but that would be such an incredibly, like, cheesy move that very few people do it.
And it's always looked upon with scorn.
Right.
Yeah. No, it is actually officially against the rules.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. But
it's been cringy since the 1890s. But
one thing that's I've always been interested in, I have been interested in this because There's a dinosaur from Australia. It's a titanosauriform sauropod. It might be a Diamantinosaurian titanosaur. So say that 5 times fast. But it's called Savannosaurus elliottorum. And 2 of the authors on the paper are Dave and Judy Elliott. And it's named after the Elliott family. So I've always wondered if that was legit or not.
Is that the same Elliott family?
It is, I think.
Oh, weird.
I mean, I would have to
It's
go back.
only our children.
Yeah, it's the papers and scientific reports. If anybody wants to get to the bottom of this, it's open access. But it's Porapad et al. Probably 2017-ish, something like that. The dinosaur's super cool, but I was always surprised that they were able to name it Elliottorum, Savannosaurus elliottorum with Dave and Judy on the paper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The only dinosaur I can think of that is named after one of the authors would be Raptorex kriegstani, where Kriegstan is one of the authors on it. But
I actually didn't know that.
That paper is a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Raptor X.
Yeah. And, question from Mary L. Danny, are you affiliated with a research institution? And is such an affiliation necessary for you to publish your work? Officially, it's not totally necessary, but I am loosely affiliated with certain institutions. I mean, I do work with them and for them, but I don't have like an official job title at an academic institution right now. I'm more or less freelance. Twitch streaming is how I make my living, and I'm able to fund my research and partly field work and stuff like that through doing this. But I have co-authors who are, they've got official job titles at prestigious institutions. So, yeah, I don't know if I just did like a single authorship paper. I guess it depends on the journal and the editor.
Yeah, I think you could. The Annals of Carnegie Museum, so the journal that my museum publishes, has fairly recently published a solo authored paper by Greg Paul, who doesn't have an academic affiliation. But
which paper was that?
It's about giant titanosaurs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one where he posits that Argentinosaurus is definitely the biggest?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually agree with him.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, Greg doesn't have any formal academic affiliation, and.
Someone says Twitch is a prestigious institution, I guess. You could say I'm from...
Paleontologizing, TM.
There you go, yeah. Yeah. LeBron wants to know which Native American tribes were in this area. Would have been the Shoshone and the Arapaho, I believe.
That is my understanding. Yep.
Yeah. Let's see... And Sebastian VPA says, don't forget to use sunscreen, guys. Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah, we might be looking a little red, I'm not sure. This is mostly a tan, I think now, but my face feels a little hot, like maybe I didn't touch all the appropriate areas this morning, but...
I made sure to put plenty of sunscreen on my face this morning, and everything else is like too far gone.
Yeah. Danny is our current record holder for no shower, right?
Yeah, not necessarily proud of it, but yeah.
I mean, you should be, honestly. Like I'm a total wimp, as everyone now knows. Like I can't do fieldwork without it.
I think it's been 26 or 27 days for me so far.
That's
without a shower.
Yeah.
But plenty of wet wipes back in camp. Make sure that I'm nice and clean before I get into my sleeping bag.
I mean, for the record, he doesn't smell at all.
Yeah, terrible anosmia, No, I'm kidding. No, I appreciate you saying that. I put on lots of deodorant every morning.
You're welcome, Danny.
Yeah. Like, I try to be as respectful as possible
like
of
my
comrades out here. Yeah. Did you say like summer's eve?
Like a summer's breeze.
Oh.
Summer's eve?
Never mind.
Yep. Abort.
Yeah. Very masculine, Danny.
You carry around a sensor from your belt like what they did in medieval times.
And 133 raiders from GN Marley. Welcome, raiders. It's good to have you here. Welcome to Paleontologizing.
Hatches.
We're here trying to dig up a horned dinosaur, but its bones are
frustratingly elusive.
Yeah. We had a number of really good bones out of this quarry last week, and we dug in further, and we're not finding much else yet, but cross your fingers, we'll get something. You know, it wouldn't be the end of the world if we didn't get anything else for the rest of this month, for the rest of our work out here in Wyoming this year. But we got some really important bones already, but we want to get more. We want to get parts of the face of this dinosaur.
We'll find something the second to last time.
There you go. That'll be the last hour of digging before we have to pack up. Actually, Matt, I had a question for you about that.
Sure.
You said the end of this field season, and like that's a.
What is?
I've never really
season?
thought about that. Yeah, like is a field season just like work in a particular area? Can you have multiple field seasons in the same summer?
In my opinion, yes.
I guess yeah, northern southern hemisphere. Sure.
I am not Matt Lamont. Sorry.
Yeah.
In my opinion, yes, you can, but some people also refer to like the entire summer as the field season.
That's kind of my default. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know. I like the idea of I'm going to be in Utah from mid-July to mid-August, digging up dinosaurs near Moab in the Cedar Mountain Formation. Would that be a second field season this year in your estimation, Matt?
In Lamana parlance, yes.
Nice.
But
shoot, if that's the case, how many field seasons have I had?
Tons.
I mean, that might like almost double my count. Because I would say 13 if we're just going by summers. But, let's see.
Wow, I just became way more experienced than I was.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
What do I do with my stupid hammer?
It is, right?
Yep, it's always under my leg.
It's okay, I just lost my oyster knife. So.
Yeah, that would put me at 16 then. Yeah, not too shabby. Well, I guess it'll be 16 at the end of the summer. Although maybe 17. I don't know. We'll see. Might have more field work.
Oh yeah.
After I get back from Utah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Gonna talk to Josh Lively and
oh cool.
Andrew Milner.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Ooh. You're saying names that I know.
Yeah. And Lenina says, Ken, it's so good to have you there.
Hey, Lenina. Sorry if I didn't sound as excited as I actually am.
It's been a long day, and we're, long day. Paleo Jim, 51 field seasons for Jim Kirkland. And I think that's only, different years in the field. I'm sure, if you were to break it down multiple field areas per summer.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I have no
be in the
doubt
hundreds.
Jim destroys me.
Yeah.
How many Antarctic field seasons, Jim?
Oh! Gauntlet thrown.
No, I have no game compared to him. He's a legend.
Yeah. It's good to see you, Jim. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Jim.
Yeah. Yeah. And Dan the BC man, you should put a portable shower bag on your wish list. I will. We'll have to do one for next year for sure. Yeah.
I feel so pathetic.
It's a good thing to have in camp. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like a nice piece of infrastructure.
I think if we just took 10 minutes and set up like a ring with a tarp around it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Put it on top of a pallet.
Yeah.
So the ground doesn't, the ground gets soaked, but you don't get muddy.
I mean, luckily we have a gas station fairly nearby that we can refill our water at. So.
Yeah. God's Blanky wants to know, in all caps,
God's Blanky, yeah.
What species are y'all digging up, RN?
Ceratopspa.
Yeah, so it's some kind of ceratopsian dinosaur. It's
horned dinosaur.
Yeah, it's probably new. We have every indication that it's going to be a new critter. Based on, we don't have any ceratopsian dinosaurs named from this time and place.
It is, yeah.
And from what we can see of its anatomy that we've dug up so far, it seems to be distinct from pretty much every other ceratopsian I've ever seen. So, yeah. Yeah. And Rhacodactylus says, I have to say I'm 100% on Matt's side here. A shower is not a luxury. It is a basic necessity for normal life. Double exclamation mark.
100%. Thank you.
Oh, got a lot of respect for Rhacodactylus, one of our moderators. Yeah.
I have a hard time waking up if I don't have a shower. It's a part of my morning routine.
So you're a morning shower guy?
Oh, 100%. Sometimes
okay.
both. Like, especially if I work out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just can't get enough showers. I don't know what I would have done as a medieval person. I was just stoned.
Live near a lake
You
or a waterfall.
what you're missing, so.
Yeah.
I've heard that's a myth that like people in medieval times didn't bathe.
I know, I've heard
No,
that too.
apparently they didn't.
Oh, really?
Not
Yeah.
with any kind of regularity.
Huh.
Yeah, I was just reading Andrew Roberts' biography of Napoleon,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very unusual for bathing every day.
Huh.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, they probably had very luxurious hair.
Yeah, you don't want to mess that up. Shower caps had not been invented yet.
Yeah. One of my friends, you know, after she goes to the salon, she's like, trying to stretch out not washing my hair as long as I can. I'm like, that's cool. That's sort of gross, but cool.
I mean, I don't know. For your average person, they're probably not doing, lots of physical labor and stuff like we're doing here in the field.
Right.
I came back from Turtle Hill yesterday, and I was just covered with coal dust. We walked into the restaurant that we went to last night. We had a.
Oh, you went to a restaurant?
We did, yeah. I won't say which one, but it was.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was.
Get that, Lenina.
No worries. But yeah, like they must have been mortified when they saw me. Like I walked into the bathroom after ordering, or maybe it was before ordering. I forget.
I wish. I
destroyed that sink. There was just dirt everywhere.
I wish I knew you guys were in town. I would have found you.
It was kind of a scary moment thing.
Okay.
We figured you wanted some alone time. So.
No, no.
We also got there at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
We were already done.
Yeah.
I was pretty beat by then.
Whiskey Pack says, how long could Danny willingly go without a shower? Oh, years potentially, if I have a bath, you know? I don't know, but it's been 27 days so far for me. And it'll be until next weekend.
You got a fan in Lauren.
Yeah, I want to see how long the streak. You'll be like the Cal Ripken.
Oh no.
Yeah, the Cal Ripken of not showering.
What an ignominious thing to be known for.
No, I've done longer than that before. I just don't like it. And I'm kind of old now, and, that just makes me, like, more crotchety and stuff. As Ken,
This is in fact just a trauma response. Like you spent so long without showering that now you just have to have one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm also too like it's like I can kind of afford the hotel room, so why not?
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of how I feel now too. I used to be like, oh, I gotta find somebody's couch to crash on or whatever.
Yeah.
Back in civilization, but like I booked a hotel room for myself in Salt Lake when we get back.
Nice.
I'm gonna take like a 7-hour shower. I hope Utah isn't in drought right now.
I purposely stay in pretty modest places,
Yeah.
But yeah, they all have hot water, so.
You staying at the Grand America, Danny?
Oh, the in right over there.
No, in Salt Lake.
Oh, in Salt Lake. I don't know which one it is.
It's the Grand America is this like palatial, enormous.
Oh, definitely that one.
Palatial.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's a good word.
What was the place that SVP was at? Was it that? It sounds familiar to me. I wonder if it was
Are you
that.
talking about when it was in
Yeah,
Salt
when
Lake?
SVP was in Salt Lake in like
I don't know.
2017.
I didn't get to go. Yeah.
It was. I think it might have been that hotel.
I wouldn't be surprised. They have like multiple ballrooms.
Is there a smaller, cheaper one across the road?
Yeah,
by
it's
any
called
chance?
the Little America.
Yeah, yeah.
That's totally what it
is
was.
totally
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah, I have stayed
Wyoming
there.
too. Yeah.
It's a nice hotel.
I think I submitted an abstract that year, and I just couldn't afford to go to the meeting.
That's fine.
It's happened like 6 times for me.
Not cheap.
I mean,
No.
the room rate was discounted, I think, because it was a meeting. But yes, I have been there for sure.
I'm so excited for SVP this year. The first one in too long.
Yeah, I hope I get to go, but I'm not sure. I've already been to one conference this year, and I'm going to another one in Anaheim. So.
Oh yeah, you're going to GSA.
Yep.
Say hi to Pat Holroyd there for me if you see her.
I will.
Yeah.
I actually.
Tell her Danny says hi.
I don't think I've ever met her face to face. I've only talked to her on email.
Oh, okay. She was my mentor back in Berkeley when I was in high school.
Cool.
That's another question I had for you. Like,
Yeah.
do you all know each other?
Obliquely? Like, I knew Matt LaManna from The Lost Dinosaurs of Egypt since I was 10 years old. So, maybe 11. But yeah.
And
if we don't know people directly, we know people who know those people. Okay. It's like very, very, very few degrees of separation in paleontology, yeah.
Other people know me from lead paint, delicious but deadly. From such scientific films as Lead Paint, delicious but deadly.
Man versus Nature, the road to victory.
Firecrackers the Silent Killer is one of my favorites.
My favorite is, you may remember me from such self-help videos as Smoke Yourself Down.
And get confident, stupid.
Oh yeah, get confident, stupid. I forgot about that, yeah.
First half of the field season it was Sopranos, now it's Simpsons.
Yep.
Smoke yourself.
That's so wrong.
Wasn't that a thing in the 50s where like you could take a pill with tapeworm eggs in it?
Oh, it was before the 50s, I think.
It was?
Yeah, that wasn't that like a Victorian method?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I think in the 50s it was mostly amphetamines.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Post cocaine.
Wonder drug.
Just in the amphetamines, yeah.
Call that blows amphetamine.
Perhaps let's tangent away from this current subject.
Mayday.
I love it though. Yeah. That was amazing.
That's our safe word.
Oh, we've got some other Troy McClure titles in the chat. Yeah, the president's neck is missing. Or dial M for murderousness.
I'm also a big fan of the McBain series.
Oh yeah.
You know, when
McBain.
he pops out of
Ice to see you.
he pops out of the ice sculpture and goes, "Ice to see you." We will have another meeting.
The ice sculpture is like the Venus de Milo. It just grows arms.
How does he fit in there?
Ice to see you.
And let's see. Raven the Regal wants to know, serious science question, have there ever been any strange or unusual birth defects in bones or fossils that have confused or intrigued paleontologists?
Well, there is...
Neoceratops?
What's that? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's probably old age related technology, but there is a specimen, and I don't think it's ever been debunked, so as far as I know, it's still considered legit. There's a specimen of a little Chinese early Cretaceous aquatic reptile called Hyphalosaurus.
With the two heads?
It has two heads, yeah. And this is an animal that's extraordinarily common, so if at least in some beds it's extraordinarily common, so if there's anything that's going to be, remember that we're often dealing with really, really tiny sample sizes. We only have a few, or oftentimes only one of each individual species.
Yep, like we were talking with Carnotaurus, it's known from one skeleton.
Right, and so if you're going to find like pathologic examples of species, chances are it's going to be in species that have, for which we have lots and lots and lots of specimens.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other dinosaurs with like weird pathologies
or weird,
that have been named as like new taxa because of those.
Yeah, like Diceratops, obviously, or Nataceratops, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Tatankaceratops, I'm told, is pathologic.
That would make sense, yeah.
Potentially, I don't know, yeah. Friedrich von Huene once named a sauropod genus Succinodon based on bivalve borings.
Oh man!
Yeah, that's not a pathology, but von Huene was actually awesome. He was really, really fantastic in so many ways. But
you're prolific, right?
Yeah, but when you are prolific, occasionally some things don't stand the test of time. And,
even more nightmarish version of having what do whales get on them?
Barnacles.
Barnacles. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like your whole face turned into shipworm borings.
Yeah.
The paper title is one of my favorites for some reason. I don't know why. It's like sort of elegant in its simplicity. It's just bivalve nature of Huene's dinosaur Succinodon. It's another favorite paper title of mine. This was conveyed to me by my good friend and collaborator John Franimos. It has nothing to do with paleontology, but it was called Always the Bridesmaid, Never the Bride, A History of Cobalt Mining.
That's great.
It's a reach.
I've used a variation of that sometimes that I thought was funny that I came up with. Maybe it's not.
Sometimes, yeah, I think I've been guilty of using punny titles once in a while, but I mostly think they fall flat. Like, a friend of mine had an abstract that was entitled Titanosaur Tales Tell Two Tales. And I'm kind of like, nah, you can do better. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter as long as it makes you laugh.
Does anyone else need to laugh? If it makes the author laugh, then yes, then I have no problem with it.
I'm working on a project where it's like a review of anagenetic, like evidence for anagenesis in dinosaurs, and it's going to be titled Answers in Anagenesis.
Oh God.
That's actually really good.
Thanks. Don't tell anybody.
Well, you
it's
just
not
told
done
like
yet.
1,000 people.
Yeah.
And I had some trouble naming my last article and still haven't come up with anything good. And one of my friends said, well, you know, on the plus side, your working title has the merit of saying what the paper's actually about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, you have to obscure it.
You make a website so people get confused and go to yours.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, make sure dialectic is in there.
Throw Hegelian.
I actually have no idea. I have no idea what dialectic means, actually. What does it mean?
We're going to delve
pertaining
into that
to the dialectic.
Delve into that. Yeah, but I think the discussion of Marxism should probably wait until after the chat.
Okay.
No, I was just joking because delve keeps getting put in.
Yes, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Commander Argo says, let's all start a fund to send Matt 20 cans of sardines.
I already have about 20 cans. I'm taking a momentary break from them because it's really hot, and I'm thinking like canned fish isn't going to sit super well. And also, I did get a little grossed out by my my can that only included 3 when they usually include about 12. It's like I wasn't even sure they were sardines. There was some other kind of monster, aquatic sea beast.
Ocean sunfish.
Yeah, ocean mola. No, but I'll be back on the sardine train pretty soon, and I appreciate the support. Maybe on the day when it's like 70 again. But yeah, after I ate the whales, I was it was not in good shape.
Oh yeah.
It was like, peace out, chat. I'll see you in forever.
Oh, wow.
J.R. Scribe says, by the time we can 3D print bones, we might be beyond these kinds of pranks. You're talking about like pranking paleontologists? So I do a lot of 3D printing of fossils for like teaching purposes and stuff. And yeah, they don't look like fossil bones. Even as well as they paint them. Oh, Ethan's calling me. Hey, Ethan. Yeah, good idea.
It's frustrating.
Cool. Alright, bye. Okay, he's heading over soon. Should
start
wrap up
packing
the
up?
stream pretty soon.
What time is it?
It is 5:55. Palindrome.
Taco Cat spelled backwards is Taco Cat.
Wow.
I know way too many palindromes. But yeah. Let's see. I should go ahead and wrap this up, everybody. So let me find somebody to pay a raid to. Let's see. I should. Stop it.
Mary
Okay.
Smoke Monsters.
Let's see who else is on right now. Turtles and Chill. California Burbs. Let's see. Oh, nice. Root there, yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
And, oh, am I not following Thug Shells yet? I guess not. I need to change that. Although that might not be... Sorry, I'm being so indecisive about this, everybody.
Okay.
But, let's go right into... Let's say hello to Melissa in Denial, who is an Egyptologist.
Nice.
Here on Twitch.
Good name.
Yeah. Looks like she's playing a game, some Lego Indiana Jones. But we can ask her all kinds of questions about Egyptology while we're there, everybody. So let's get that done. Here to the chat.
Some late night Egyptology over there.
I think she lives on the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Still late night.
Yeah.
Egyptology after dark.
I saw that movie.
It's called The Mummy.
Awesome. Great. Okay, raid is starting. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in today, and thank you everybody in the quarry for putting up with Twitch antics and everything. I hope you had at least a little bit of fun. Hope it wasn't too, I don't know,
I mean,
too much.
honestly, when I'm not finding anything, this is like by far way more fun. So, yeah, so feel free to Twitch me anytime.
All right, I appreciate that. Weird way to put it, but
that verb. Yeah. You've been twitched.
You've been twitched.
But thank you so much, everybody, for your questions, for your kind words, for your enthusiasm, for your viewership,
for your support for the unshowered.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, for those less fortunate, the unair conditioned. And hope to see you tomorrow. With any luck, I'll be streaming again from this site, or maybe from a different one. But you all take care of yourselves and each other, and let's go say hello to Melissa and Denial. I'll see you there. All right, and let's go ahead and turn off the stream.